I'm glad to have you along for what should be an interesting matchup. Virginia has won 6 of its last 7 games. The Nittany Lions just a handful of plays from being unbeaten. This is a solid Penn State team top to bottom. And how about Larry Johnson? He's getting all the talk. As a matter of fact, he's even getting some Heisman mentions now.
And why not? I mean, nobody else in the country's really stepped up and looking for that brass ring. In the last 3 ball games, over 600 yards for Larry Johnson against Northwestern, 257 yards, broke the all-time Penn State single-game record. And then last week against Illinois, he blew up 279 yards, including this amazing 84-yard touchdown run, the longest touchdown run at Penn State since way back in 1968. But Tom Bradley's defense has really been a great story of late. They have stepped up their game in the last 3 games against Northwestern, Ohio State, and Illinois. They have brought those teams way down in their offensive productivity. They're tackling better, and they've caused a lot of turnovers. They had 4 turnovers against Ohio State.
Now, the Cavaliers of Virginia are coming off a bye week, so they've had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. But it is the youngest team in the nation. Are they ready?
Well, they're so young they think Joe Paterno is a character on The Sopranos. I mean, these guys, they're all true freshmen. They'll start as many as 6. But 2 guys that have really stepped up for Al Groh and his staff. Wally Lundy, who's been a sensational surprise at running back. He was All-State as a junior at wide receiver in high school, and then All-State as a senior at running back. He's a good dual threat for them. The one guy that has been on everybody's lips, though, is the outside linebacker, Darryl Blackstock, a true freshman who leads the nation in sacks for freshmen. And when you run a 3-4 defense, you have to have an outside linebacker like Darryl Blackstock. He's a guy that Coach Groh talks about consistently, one of his best.
Well, here the Nittany Lions getting ready to come out of the tunnel. Penn State trying to win out, get that 9-3 record, get a better bowl. The controversial calls have been well documented. But, folks, this is a very good football team. Joe Paterno with this ball club. And here come the Nittany Lions with a 6-3 record, ranked 19th in the country, running into Beaver Stadium with a confidence and a swagger reminiscent of the Lions a decade ago. 108,000. The Cavaliers, the Nittany Lions, the ACC, the Big Ten, and it's coming up next on ABC.
CTS. Breakthrough.
What you gonna do? Here I come. You can't stop me. I'm gonna make this move. Head fake. Behind my back. Behind your head. Off your head. Take it to the hole. Dunking on your whole family. Can you stop me? I don't think so.
1-on-1 to 5-on-5. No rules, no refs, no limits, player. Yo, on this hollow ground, life is the metaphor. It's the game that's real. Street hoops. Real courts, real moves, real ball. Street hoops, rated T for team.
My grandfather started the business back in 1923. Figured everybody likes ice cream, so that might be a pretty good way to make a living. This is where we mix and prepare the ingredients for the ice cream. Who can guess what we keep in here? That's right, gotta keep it cold in here.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
1823.
Cavaliers come into Happy Valley with a 6-3 record. Penn State with a 6-3 record. You see the capacity crowd, and every seat here is taken. Now, moments ago, Samantha Ryan caught up with head coach Joe Paterno. Let's take a look and listen.
Coach, there's some history between these 2 teams. It was a tough loss against UVA last year. Kept you guys from becoming bowl eligible. Is there a revenge factor today?
Oh, I don't like the word revenge. I think if we got a bunch of kids going out and play a good football game, you hope they're going to play as well as they can. Obviously, we were disappointed last year that we didn't win, but I think this is another year and another group of people. I just hope we're going to play our football game and play well enough to win. But the revenge that's not a word I like.
Well, you talk about this year. Last year and the season before, 5 wins in each of those 2 seasons. This season, you have 3 tough conference losses, some questionable officiating in those games. But you do have 6 wins, 1 win away from a winning season. Are you having fun this year?
Well, I've liked the squad. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. There were a bunch of kids that have worked very, very hard, and I've had a lot of fun working with them. And they behave, they go to class, they're going to graduate. All the nice things about that you would hope you'd have with a bunch of kids in college. So I've enjoyed it, yeah. I haven't enjoyed a couple of tough losses, but I've enjoyed the rest of it.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.
Joe Paterno in his 37th year as head coach, 53 years here in State College, 5 unbeaten seasons, 2 national titles. Virginia won the toss, deferred. Penn State will receive the opening kickoff. And so we're just about set, folks, as you look at Kurt Smith of the Cavaliers. And the Johnsons will be deep for Penn State. Larry Johnson and Tony.
Larry, a guy who's just been on a tear. We've talking about at the Open. I'm not so sure you want to kick it towards him.
Over 600 yards the last 3 games. Only the 9th Nittany Lion ever to go over 1,000 yards in a single season. 33 guys have done it in their career, but in a single season, 9 of them, and he's one. Kurt Smith with a short kick taken by Johnson at the 3. We're underway. Breaks 2 tackles and carries the ball out to the 27-yard line. Tackle made by Mark Miller. So we get our first look at Zach Mills, the 6'2 sophomore from Ironsville, Maryland, hitting 58% of his passes with 12 touchdowns, 6 picks, half of those against Ohio State. Folks, he is one cool, calm quarterback who is some kind of tough.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit last year against UVA. UVA dropped 8 guys into coverage. He threw 3 interceptions, and some debate among the Penn State coaches what type of defensive drops they're going to see from UVA today.
First down, Penn State. Williams switches sides. Jefferson and Johnson in the backfield. Mills throws. This is complete to Jefferson out to the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at our Nivea for Men starting lineups. Backs and receivers. Larry Johnson is the record-setting tailback we've talked about, and certainly the focal point. Tony Johnson and Brian Johnson have combined for 66 receptions. The offensive line is big and talented. Felder, 321 pounds. McKelvey, 326. Iorio, 300. Lend is the little guy, 293. Schmidt is 301. Big, strong, and nasty. Second down and 6 for the Lions. Brian Johnson in motion. Larry Johnson, the ball carry. He's got a first down. Move the chains to the 39-yard line. Defensively for the Cavaliers of Virginia, they run a 3-4 scheme with speed and pressure off the edge. Schmidt, Hoffman, Canny, a freshman and 2 sophomores. The linebackers are the deal. 14 sacks between them. Robertson is the senior, and the leading tackler, Blackstock, is a freshman with 8 sacks. And in the secondary, Curry and Winborn are the corners, both juniors. Nesby and Evans are the seniors at safety. First down, option, dangerous pitch, but one-handed by Johnson, and he picks up 4. So it'll be second down and 6.
Look at the numbers between Penn State offensively and Virginia defensively, and the one that jumps out. Virginia defensively in that 3-4 set, 209 rushing yards they're allowing. That's 106th out of 117 teams, and right away you start to see Larry Johnson made the great one-handed catch there. It's been working for the last 3 ball games. I would expect Penn State against this young Virginia front just to continue to pound this young man.
Chris Canny got credit for that last tackle as you look at the Penn State offense. Second down and 6. Out of the eye, play action. Little waggle from Mills, looks deep, and Tony Johnson drops it. Had it in his hands and couldn't hold on. Armando Muffin Curry was there defensively, but that ball should have been caught.
And Virginia plays kind of a soft defensive back scheme. They play off of the receivers. Curry giving plenty of room to Johnson. This definitely a ball. Well, Curry got in there with the left hand a little bit and pulled it down, but this is that defense that has really kind of been the problem for Penn State this year.
That's a mismatch I'm sure they'll go after, too. Curry's only 5'8". Groh was asked about Curry. He said, hey, I'm not a fan of little guys, but this guy's highly competitive, and he's very tough, but he's still 5'8".
Yeah, he makes a lot of big plays, especially on special teams for him as well. 3rd down and 6 for Mills. Across the middle, has it complete. That's his tight end, Casey Williams, and another Penn State first down. Casey Williams, 5'11", 237 pounds, from Allentown, Pennsylvania, with his 18th reception of the year. So give him 8. And Fran Ganner, the offensive coordinator, says, don't you worry about his size. This guy puts on a clinic with everything he does, and that's the defensive back standing behind him, Jerton Evans, just right on his back. But he has such good hands, and he gets good body position, and he's a really nice weapon. A guy who missed some games with a knee injury. Glad to have him back.
So the Lions move into Cavalier territory. First down. Again, Brian Johnson in motion on first down. Mills has pressure, drops the ball. It's loose. Cavaliers have it. Chris Canny recovered the fumble for the Cavaliers of Virginia, and it looked like Merrill Robertson forced the fumble.
And this is what UVA will do when they get going a little bit. And Merrill Robertson, who was a defensive end as a sophomore, comes off of the edge. Does a really nice job coming to the outside. Drops his shoulder on Casey Williams. And when you have a free run to the quarterback, you teach anybody as you're going to make the tackle, make sure you swipe at that ball. And this is just a nice play by Robertson.
Folks, if you haven't heard the story, you will all day, but it was Virginia that took Penn State out of bowl contention last year. Zach Mills had several picks against Virginia, actually 3, and he fumbled, and that ball was returned for a touchdown. First down, Schaub, his pass is complete to the tight end of the 40, and Virginia is in Penn State territory after the catch by Patrick Estes. Matt Schaub, 6'5", 235-pound junior from Westchester, Pennsylvania. He is 2nd in the nation in completion percentage, and he's had back-to-back 300-yard games.
One thing that Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, and Al Groh constantly preach: throw it on time. Al will stand behind him in practice. Throw it, get it out of there. Watch him throw on rhythm.
2nd and 4, throws it. Ball's up for grabs and incomplete. It was tipped by Anthony Adams. Now let's take a look at our Nivea for Men starting lineups. Backs and receivers, young guys everywhere. Alvin Pearman and Wally Lundy will alternate there. You see Lundy because he's got the big numbers. Jason Snelling's a freshman. The big-time receiver, Billy McMullen, captain of the team, All-American, real deal. Offensive line will be tested. Ferguson and Barthelmess are freshmen. Elton Brown is playing with a sore ankle. 3rd down and 4. This is complete to Miller, and Miller's down to the 26-yard line. And here come the Cavaliers. A gain of 14. The Penn State defense has been on a tear. The front 4 is led by Jimmy Kennedy and Michael Haynes. The linebackers, Stewart and Wake, are sophomores. Gino Capone is the team's 2nd leading tackler, but he's playing banged up, got a stinger. In the secondary, Brian Scott is a 3-year starter, but Sean Mayer's the guy. Mayer's the leading tackler, just a plain leader. He's a 5th-year senior from Hillsborough, New Jersey. And Perriman, the ball carrier, is down immediately.
There's a flag in the flat as there's a UVA player down, grabbing his right knee, but there's a flag down in the secondary of Penn State. I believe it was thrown right at the snap of the ball. Which leads you to believe that this is going to be against Penn State. If it was a dead ball, they would have blown it. Perhaps an offsides on Penn State.
Just talked about Alvin Pearman, how he was going to get playing time with Wally Lundy. That is Pearman that's injured, 5'10", 194-pound sophomore. And you were right, he was grasping at the knee. Won't speculate. We'll get an update from Samantha Ryan as soon as it's available. Jimmy Knight says this is offsides against Penn State. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Nittany Lions.
Looked like Penn State maybe was lined up offsides. Oh, and it was right there at the end as the Penn State defender went by. He actually drug his legs trying to do anything he could to bring Pearman down. And that looks like what caught his right leg.
Look at Al Groh in his 2nd season at his alma mater. Took over for George Welsh. Had one of the best recruiting classes the conference has ever had. Not only the Cavaliers, but the conference. It was rated in the top 10 nationally. That's why so many young players are playing as you look at Wally Lundy. 1st and 5. This is Lundy. Carries tacklers. He's eventually taken down by Anthony Adams.
Taking a look at the numbers of the UVA offense against Penn State defensively. We were just talking about that Penn State defense and how sensational they've been in the last 3 games. They've really been good all year. And Virginia offensively, they spread you out. They do a bunch of different things. The one thing they haven't been very effective at this year, though, is running the ball. They're 92nd in the country at 117 yards per game.
2nd down and 2. McMullen has the first to the 10 to the 8-yard line. Folks, if you give these young guys early success and put them on top, look out.
And this is the one thing when, you know, we sat with Al Groh. It had to be for an hour, hour and a half yesterday. He was so gracious with his time. And he was talking about his time in the NFL as a head coach and a defensive coordinator. And Bill Musgrave, although Bill's young at 33, a lot of time in the NFL. He was assistant coach for 4 years. And they said they're going to NFL game plan. And right now, a lot of screens and draws because of the aggressiveness of Penn State.
Top of the screen on the line is Heath Miller, the tight end. They love to go to him down here inside the 10. Instead, they give it to Snelling, the fullback.
And I just don't think that Virginia, with this young offensive line, that was the one thing that Al Groh said his #1 concern was Anthony Adams and Jimmy Kennedy in the middle for Penn State against this very young offensive line. He was concerned about their strength, more time in the weight room. Kennedy's 316 pounds. I just don't know that they're going to get a whole lot up the gut against Penn State.
Well, the Cavaliers rushed for only 53 yards as a team against Georgia Tech, and the Wahoos are 92nd out of 117 Division I-A teams in rushing offense. So I know from whence you speak, partner. 2nd down and 8. McMullen inside the 5 to the 3. Dives for the goal line short, but he will be inside the 1. Finally stopped by Derek Wake.
And McMullen is such a great weapon in the red zone. You know, 2 weeks ago when Virginia lost to Georgia Tech, they were trying to throw some fades to him and things. And all Georgia Tech was doing was double covering him. They were bracketing him high and low. Now, Virginia, this is the 2nd time they've run this little play, and that's just such a great job of a 6'4" receiver using his ability to stretch out.
3rd down and goal. Snelling and Lundy in the backfield behind Schaub. Play action. Schaub throws to the corner, and there he is. Heath Miller, the tight end, his 8th touchdown of the year. You know your scouting report. They like to go to him for the touchdowns.
And Miller, a guy, I was talking to an old friend of mine, Andy Heck, who's a graduate assistant. He works every day with the tight ends. And Miller, who was a quarterback and a safety in high school, came in, and Andy Heck, who played a long time in the NFL, he was a starting tight end at Notre Dame, said this young man's going to play for a long time.
Well, he threw a touchdown pass against USC. He has the most touchdowns by a tight end in UVA history. Connor Hughes with the extra point attempt, and it's good.
And that also ties him all-time with 8 touchdowns with Mike Chatham of UNC for all.
Griffin. And Oklahoma gets on the board first midway through the first quarter, a 7-0 lead.
Best team in the country, Oklahoma. They are really starting to roll, and Nate Hibble has gotten so much better at quarterback.
Schaub on 2nd and 12 hits his tight end. He's got enough for the first, and all the way out to the 35-yard line goes Heath Miller. A pickup of 17 yards.
Well, need both of these teams now putting on a clinic of how to use your tight end. Tom Bradley, the defensive coordinator, goes every day against Casey Williams, who's having a great game right now for Penn State. Again, Miller right here, and it's just that one little second, you know, where it looks like he's going to block for a second, stay in, and then when he releases, coverage just late getting over there. He has really soft hands.
Tight ends have 7 catches combined when you look at both of them here. Johnson taken down by Chris Harrell on the safety blitz. Lose 2 yards.
And Michael Johnson in there. We have Alan Pearman, who's hurt on the sideline, but I wonder why Wally Lundy, as he just came onto the field, surprised that he wasn't in the ball game for that run.
Harrell, one of the hardest hitters on that defense. Schaub with time, throws a dart. It's complete to McMullen, and McMullen with his 3rd catch is close to a first down, but he'll be a yard short. So it'll bring up 3rd down and about 1. Harrell again with the tackle.
And the one thing that, you know, we met with Billy McMullen yesterday, he's got humongous hands, and they're so soft. What a nice, see how he catches that ball with his hands before it gets into his pads? So many guys you see when that ball is coming in, they try to cradle it, comes off that hard plastic. This guy, not the fastest guy, but he's got great size and unbelievable hands.
Virginia's all-time leading receiver in receiving yards. 3rd down and 1. Throw for it, and it's McMullen with the first. They are still talking about the catch he made at South Carolina, but figures so big in everything the Cavaliers do offensively.
Well, and again, you talk about throwing on time. This ball is tipped. But because Schaub throws it on time, little outcut, really nice job setting up the DB by McMullen. But that ball was tipped, but since it was thrown on time, it didn't get much. The defensive end didn't get much on the ball, and McMullen able to bring it in for the first.
You will see Billy McMullen playing on Sundays at the next level. No question about that. Here's Michael Johnson, just checked into the ball game, picks up 4.5, and there is a penalty.
Boy, the way Jimmy Kennedy got across the line of scrimmage there, wouldn't be surprised if he was the one who was offsides. Or if they're just lined up offsides again. That happens a lot. You know, certain defensive linemen, they like to crowd the ball. They want to be as close as they can get to it, and they think they can take away the explosiveness of the offensive line.
This will be against the defense, and so they'll move Penn State back further. Mark it at the 43, and Virginia for the second time this afternoon in Nittany Lion territory.
Makes me think that that's part of the game plan for Tom Bradley and his defensive staff, is to crowd the ball a little bit and try to get a jump on this young offensive line, but they're going to need to back up a little bit. Can't keep giving them 5 yards for free.
The lone setback is Michael Johnson. Schaub all the way around the corner. Another flag flies, and this one will be against the Cavaliers of Virginia.
Well, it was Heath Miller working one-on-one on the blitzing Derek Wake. You get out on the edge there, and this is part of Virginia's plan, is to move Schaub around a little bit. One thing Al Groh with this young team, he's got a little momentum. They had the big turnover early and capitalized on it. Has a little more momentum. Can't have these little tiny mistakes, not in a place like this.
So they move him up, put it down on the 47-yard line, and that's where the Cavaliers will have it. That's the end of the first quarter. Time has expired, and we're tied at 7. Our presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You're watching ABC Sports in the happy
Allstate presents Good Hands Flashback. Last season, Michigan wide receiver Marquise Walker established a Wolverine record with 86 receptions. While many were acrobatic, none was more spectacular than this touchdown reception on a 3rd down play against Iowa.
First down and 15 for Schaub. Ball's tipped, goes to the tight end Miller. He goes out of bounds. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage across midfield at the 48.5-yard line. Jeremiah Davis with the tip ball.
Boy, that's 2 passes in a row that Schaub's completed that have been tipped. And when we were talking to Al Groh about guys and throwing on time, he said that's one thing that if you throw on time, you take away tips, strip balls in the pocket, sacks, and constantly working with this young man on getting the ball out of time. He's doing a nice job so far this afternoon.
Didn't want to end that quarter on a penalty. That's the rule by the book. And so they made him finish with that play, which took the ball for the Cavaliers into Penn State territory. We'll be back with the second 15 after this.
Allstate presents Good Hands Flashback. Last season, Michigan wide receiver Marquise Walker established a Wolverine record with 86 receptions. While many were acrobatic, none was more spectacular than this touchdown reception on a third down play against Iowa.
What a catch! Touchdown, Walker!
Okay, let's say this is you, and this is your auto insurance company. It's okay, nothing to get excited about. But let's say this is Allstate. Wow. Well, right now, qualified drivers who call Allstate for a free quote can get a company this good for this kind of price. Maybe less. Hey, look, it's a castle. So, there you go. Call Allstate for an auto quote and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
First reconfigurable luxury SUT. Cadillac Escalade EXT. Breakthrough.
It's been called the most heroic movie ever made. 8 men risking their lives for a mother's last son.
That's my mission.
Winner of 5 Academy Awards, Saving Private Ryan. Tonight at 8/7 Central on ABC. Presented uncut. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Manuka Subaru, Bernie Avenue Music has closed the door on 2002. That's right, the O2s are all gone. But Manuka Subaru is committed to remaining Northeastern Pennsylvania's Subaru sales leader. We're offering tremendous savings on over 150 2003 Subarus in stock, along with our lowest finance rates ever. For award-winning service, great selection, and huge savings, visit Northeastern Pennsylvania's only exclusive Subaru dealer, Manuka Subaru. It's all we do. Bernie Avenue Music.
Skycam 16 with Sky Zoom, only on WNEP TV, the news station.
Spectacular view when the game began. The temperature was in the low 60s. Terrific day for football. A little bit overcast. Temperature is perfect for Schaub, who now runs into a hot situation. And there he is again, Michael Haynes, with his second sack of the afternoon.
Well, and he's working against a true freshman, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. And I think he's taken him to class. Michael Haynes, who leads the Big Ten now with 11.5 sacks, just dipped right underneath Ferguson. I mean, this guy's going to be a good player. Watch right here on this part of your screen, but right to the inside. You have to protect your inside first. It's a geometry lesson, the shortest distance between 2 points. Straight line inside.
3rd and 22. This is Lundy. Inside the 50 to the 45-yard line. Finally taken down by Anwar Phillips. But it'll bring up... Well, they still need about 6,
yeah.
And we'll have to punt it away.
Well, but I really, really like the call by Bill Musgrave. Lundy's such a good weapon out of the backfield. He's coming into this game tied for the team lead with 43 receptions, but just get a bunch of yardage back. If you've got to play a little bit of control, that's a nice call.
Tom Heggie with a high spiraling kick that hits at the 5, takes a Virginia bounce, and they down it at the 2.
Yeah, if you're going to play field position, that was a great call by Bill Musgrave.
43-yard punt. Marcus Weeks downs it at the 2. Terrific play by the special teams of the Cavaliers.
Dave Logan is single. He goes on many dates.
What is it that you do?
I'm a lawyer.
You hate lawyers.
And he uses his Discover card.
Check, please.
So far, he's built up a cashback bonus award of over $160.
You're kind of boring.
Check, please.
Where do you think this thing's going between us? Because, you know, my clock's kind of ticking.
Check, please.
It's money he'll use for an engagement ring someday.
So, what do you do for a living?
Maybe someday soon.
I'm a lawyer.
Discover Card's new cashback bonus program.
Really?
Where you get paid for the things you buy anyway.
Dude, I haven't seen him. He was supposed to be here an hour ago.
Can anyone here play the bass?
Oh. Is there a bass player in the house? Jack Daniel's Original Hard Cola, a premium malt beverage as unique as the people who drink it. Come as you are.
At BASF, we don't make the car, we make it more reflective. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Chili's, I love that spice. Chili's, woo woo woo, it's so nice.
We combine our famous chicken crispers, buffalo wings, and southwestern egg rolls to create the triple play appetizer. Want more flavor? Come to Chili's.
Put these two fingers down and hold it with your thumb, and you go, hook 'em, hook 'em.
Ohio State, Illinois, or Iowa, Minnesota. Next Saturday on ABC.
Folks, we've got a pretty good one here. Penn State, 13:39 to play in the first half. We are tied at 7. Cavaliers' touchdown in that first quarter was impressive because Penn State had held opposing offenses to 13 points in the last 3 games, including a string of 11 quarters without an offensive touchdown until Virginia hit. Flag flies on the first down for Penn State. Jefferson, the fullback, was the ball carrier. Wait and see what the call is. Zach Mills right now, 6 for 7. The only one incomplete was the one that was dropped.
Well, and Virginia just made a big mistake being offside. But Zach Mills, after such an amazing game against Iowa, he had 399 yards, a Penn State record. And then he had that great game that we saw at Michigan.
Penalty, repeat the that.
Yeah, we have a microphone working finally.
A 5-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 5 for the Nittany Lions.
Got everybody.
From their 7.
Everybody's microphone is working.
Finally working. But Zach Mills, they just haven't had to rely on him very much because of the running of Larry Johnson. But they can always go back to him. He has such a command of this offense and a great thrower on time.
Larry Johnson on 1st and 5. Has enough for the first down. They'll move the chains, and just like that, the Nittany Lions move out of trouble.
Well, and it was the mistake by Virginia, as another Virginia player is down on the field. That's
Angelo Crowell.
Yeah. He's playing on 2 bad MCLs. He said the week off last week. UVA didn't even practice last week. They had so many guys banged up, but both of his MCLs have been strained this year. But boy, that was a mistake being offsides on that first play, because you had them pinned inside the 2-yard line. So little things that Penn State could do offensively, and now you give room, and Larry Johnson can do a couple things, toss sweeps. They just don't have to pound it straight ahead to get away from their own goal line.
Johnson, 8 carries, 46 yards. First down and 10. Larry Johnson looks for a hole, can't find one, still spins ahead and picks up 3. Larry Johnson is 200 rushing yard games. First time that's happened here since Kajana Carter way back in '94. Very physical runner with an attitude.
Boy, it's amazing too. 7.1 yards per carry coming into today's ball game. On that three-game stretch where he was over 600 yards, he averaged nearly 9 yards per rush.
Second down and 7. Johnson again around the corner. Has another first down. We talk about Larry Johnson and his accomplishments and running with an attitude. We asked Zach Mills about Larry Johnson.
He's a very angry runner. That's probably the best way to put it. He goes out there and he's not going to let the first guy tackle him, the second guy, or maybe even the third guy at times. He just goes out there and he just gets mad, and he wants to, you know, break 11 tackles on every play if he can.
I'll tell you this too, folks. He's fundamentally sound. His dad is a coach, as we told you earlier. He can play.
He's been a very angry young man the last few weeks.
Here's the pitch back to Johnson, skipped by one guy, and then, I mean, he's tattooed. He paid the price from Jerton Evans, the safety.
And again, this was a guy that the coaches from Penn State were talking about. It looks like you're going to pop a big one. And then Evans just comes up from the outside, playing that strong safety role. And this is a 230-pound back that he jars. I mean, that's a really nice tackle, finished, wrapped him up. And I think that Evans was the more angry of the two during that play.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Zach Mills. Plenty of time to throw. Now he tucks it away and shuffles it to Johnson. And Johnson has another 1st down. Rich Bettison comes in and makes the stop. But what a play by Zach Mills, who's so cool, so calm, reads and never panics with a little basketball pass for the 1st.
Well, and I think this entire Penn State offense just feeds off of them. This is nothing new. I mean, this team, and Larry Johnson's so good out of the backfield, 3rd in the country in all-purpose yards because of all those catches. But, I mean, this type of play is something that you can't coach it. And we saw last year the impact that Zach Mills had when he came in, and it just continues through this year.
Here he is again on 1st down and 10 to the 42-yard line. Well, coming up next Saturday, most of you will see number 3 Ohio State battle Illinois right here on ABC, plus other regional action. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on ABC Sports, the class of college football. We will have the best right here. Ohio State got another win today, squeaked by Purdue.
How about that throw on 4th and 1?
With very little time left.
Wow. And Craig Krenzel, who's starting to mature a little bit, and they're really going to need him with the injuries they have at running back. Krenzel's got to step up.
2nd down and 5, and Johnson squirms his way ahead for a few more. Bring up 3rd down and a long 3.
You know, it's amazing because Larry Johnson, nobody really knew. I mean, they knew that he was a powerful back and he could make some guys miss, but he's always been kind of part of a committee of running backs, Eric McCoo, a couple other guys. He had just over 600 yards rushing in the last 2 years, and he's done that in the last 3 ball games.
Johnson got a great mark. It'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, Casey Williams has been the guy that they've used in any kind of play action down at the bottom of the screen right here. I'd have an eye on him.
Here's Mills. Throws underneath. This is Johnson. He's not going to get to the 1st down marker. Almondo Curry came up quickly to make the stop just short of the 1st.
I like the call by Ganner. I like the play by Curry even better. Try to use a little bit of the aggressiveness. He was expecting a blitz from Virginia, got it. But Curry, you mentioned a small guy at 5'8", 178 pounds. What a sure tackle he makes up high and has the strength. He's getting a little help from inside out by Robertson, but that's just a great tackle by a little man.
So David Royer comes on to punt to that man, Marcus Hagans. Hagans standing at his own 10. A knuckleball that Hagans runs up and takes it to 22. Slips a tackle. Tries to get to the outside to the 25. And the tackle made by Rich Gardner. So a 33-yard punt and a 3-yard return.
And this young team from UVA getting a little bit of momentum here in Happy Valley.
8:21 to play in the 1st half. We are still tied.
In 1868, an American tradition was beginning, and Pacific Life was founded, both built on principles of persistence, performance, and strength. 135 years later, those beliefs still guide Pacific Life. It's how we help so many businesses and individuals reach their financial goals. For insurance, annuities, and investments, rely on the strength of Pacific Life, proud sponsor of the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
Very funny. What?
For that long road to maturity, we'll be there.
My wife bought the same one. Didn't fit. I love it, but the kids are allergic. Rashy.
How can I help you?
I'd like to return this.
No problem.
Okay, the thing is...
Sir, we'll take it back.
So I don't need it.
Nope.
Make returns, not excuses. Because at Circuit City, we offer easy, no-hassle returns and exchanges. Circuit City, we're with you.
We're moving to Europe. Different plugs. You don't need it, but that's good.
Introducing the Bowflex Ultimate. Quite possibly the best home fitness machine ever made. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. Own the new Bowflex Ultimate with no money down and monthly payments lower than many health club dues. Call and ask for a free video and brochure or visit us on the web today. The new Bowflex for ultimate results.
ABC Sunday. It's a television event, Alias style. And this one's definitely a shocker.
I need more time.
A new Alias ABC Sunday.
Virginia beat Penn State in the final game last year to keep the Nittany Lions from a bowl game. They say this is a revenge game, but so far, Cavaliers aren't backing off as Michael McGrew makes a catch and is out near another Cavalier first down, McGrew's first catch of the afternoon. Now let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary.
And a lot of the reason that UVA is playing so well is because Matt Schaub has been on fire here in the red zone. He finds Heath Miller for his 8th touchdown catch of the year, a new UVA tight end record. Larry Johnson already has 69 yards rushing, and that set up Casey Williams. Both tight ends for UVA and Penn State having great afternoons, and these defenses need to start finding those guys.
Schaub has to run for his life, gets around the corner and up to the 47-yard line. Schaub is having a great game. He's escaping pressure. He's 11 for 12, 104 yards in the air, doing what he has to do against Penn State.
A guy who earlier in the year had to share time with Marcus Haynes. And all he did, and the one thing that Al Gross said, he's a fourth-year junior in this program. And a lot of guys play 1 year, and they don't learn from it, and they go to the next year, and they play the next year. He said he has learned, and his experience in these 4 years has built upon itself. And I was a little surprised. He turned the corner a little quicker than I thought he could at 6'5".
This time he's sacked. And again, it's Michael Haynes.
Wow. Somebody slow him down.
3 sacks for Haynes.
Well, they moved him around that time. He's playing against the left tackle, DeBrickashaw Ferguson. He moved over to the right side to see if he liked that. He looks like he liked it pretty well. Here's Haynes right here, comes inside. It looked like the right guard, Brad Butler, just never got as he was trying to get under there. And Haynes, a guy who the coaches talked to about his conditioning in the offseason, thought he was just a half player, and he came back focused. 3 sacks already today.
They need 19 on second down. Go back to the tight end. And Patrick Estes is out to the 42-yard line. They mark him at the 43. Still not back to the original line of scrimmage.
Well, and the only thing that's really helped Tom Bradley's defense so far today has been negative yardage plays, a couple of penalties, and Michael Haynes having a terrific afternoon with 3 sacks already. And this time Schaub's starting to feel just a little bit of pressure, but again, it's all about throwing it on time in this system. And now they got a long way to go. They're going to need some protection. He's got to take a 5 or 7 step drop and look somewhere across the middle.
3rd down and 13, pressure again. They throw the screen. Back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's it. Jason Snelling was just tagged by Sean Mayer.
And Mayer playing up near the line of scrimmage, the free safety, the Big Ten's leading tackler, and Tom Bradley says, I don't want my safety really to have this many tackles, but this guy has such a nose for the ball, and he snuffed out that screen by Virginia perfectly.
So Tom Hagan punts it away for the Cavaliers. This is a tail wagger. Brian Johnson at the 25-yard line. That's where he's down. That's where they'll mark it. .5:39 to play in the half. We're still tied at 7.
Hey, hand me that there,
wrench?
Yeah. Oh! What do you think? I got that insurance or something?
What?
It puts money in your wallet in case you're like flat on your back.
What? Never heard of it.
Well, you can get it at work.
Get what?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
I called him and I said, get a movie. You know, something old.
I heard
get a monkey with a cold.
A monkey?
It's not his fault. It's the cellular static. Here, now you can get clear calls and do more, because Sprint built the largest all-digital, all-PCS enhanced nationwide network from the ground up for clarity you could see and hear.
Oh, look at that.
Thanks. What about the monkey? Plenty of fluids, and he'll be fine.
For $30 a month, get unlimited PCS Vision 300 anytime and unlimited night and weekend.
Such a dork.
What? I love that song.
Until the very end. We'll be there.
5:39 to play in the first half. It's time now for our Aflac trivia question. This week's question: of the 9 head coaches in the Atlantic Coast Conference, 5 are coaching at their alma mater. Who are they?
Well, the easy ones outgrow. I mean, we wouldn't ask the question if he wasn't one of them. By far the most in any conference, and they've really brought the level of the play in this conference up. All of these coaches doing such a nice job. Friedgen at Maryland doing a great job.
Wait a minute, don't give them away.
Want to run through them all?
Zach Mills throws over the middle, incomplete, intended again for Casey Williams. There are a whole lot of folks in this stadium. 108,000, they say.
You sure those are folks, not ants?
Well, they seem to get here in a hurry.
Kickoff was coming.
What happened up
Oh, yeah, that upper
there?
right corner. The late arriving students, it's finally filled in.
It's filled, all right.
I wonder what they were doing before the game, those students. Probably studying, don't you think?
Great scene. But, you know, I will say this. It's awfully quiet in here this afternoon.
Well, I think they're shocked. I mean, this UVA team has kind of been really bad in the first half at the beginning of the year, but right now they're playing great.
Mills tucks it away, carries it himself, and is out to the 34. I don't know why they would be shocked. They know what happened last year when they beat Penn State down in Charlottesville, and Virginia won 14-6 the last time the Cavaliers visited Happy Valley back in 1989. So they better strap it on and get down to business.
Algro, you know, he was always, we talked about the youngsters, but he wanted to make sure we talked about some of his seniors too, and Angelo Crowell, who made that tackle. Brother Jermaine, a great wide receiver here at UVA, but this UVA defense doing a great job. It looks like Penn State's going to have a couple extra yards, but they've been so crisp in their tackling so far.
You know, Crowell can relate to the young guys too, because he played as a freshman. Mills again on the option, and I mean, he gets tattooed.
Boy, Evans
by
came
Jordan
to play.
Evans.
Yeah, and Mills is shaky. Look at that. I mean, he took a shot right to the back of the helmet. And that's where your eggs get scrambled a little bit. When you get hit on the side or the back of your helmet.
It's all right. He got up and he was talking about it. A little trash talking in there. Trash talking is the second language on the football field now.
I'm sure that wasn't gibberish he was talking, because this is a monster hit. Evans came from about 15 yards back, threw a forearm right in the back of the helmet of Zach Mills.
I think he caught a knee to the helmet, too. Ooh. No, he didn't. You're right.
And a little bit of helmet to helmet, too. We all know about that if you're an NFL fan.
But he got the first. They moved the chains. First down and 10. Johnson took his eye off of it and went right through his hands. That's 2 drops by Johnson.
Boy, and this is a guy with a lot of ability. And Joe Paterno talked to Tony Johnson earlier in the year and said, you need to step up your play. And he has a couple of plays a game where he's just not focused in. And this is his second drop of the game. And Winborn's there on the coverage, but he's got plenty of time to bring it in. He's just had a tough outing against Ohio State. And I think Joe Paterno is bringing him over there to say, listen, just settle down and play your game.
Zach Mills, 9 of 12, 75 yards. And as you said, 2 of those are drops.
Well, you don't want your quarterback to start losing confidence in you. And they need Tony Johnson.
Timeout, Penn State. That'll clear some of the cobwebs from Zach Mills. It might get Tony Johnson squared away and give Joe Paterno time to talk. And he is.
Very funny.
What?
For that long road to maturity, we'll be there.
We got issues.
At the new Alcatraz.
Let's party, boys.
Security has been breached.
I can kill everybody in this room and not feel bad about it.
Now, to save a city on the edge,
You watch my back.
2 inmates must become heroes.
What's the matter, baby girl? You don't like me? I'm a bang! Hit the block, hit the slave, bang! Hit the rock, spit the game, bang! Get the clock, spit the flame, oh my mother!
Half Past Dead. Rated PG-13. Opens Friday.
Yo, me, where's the dip?
Only Tostitos Scoops have the bite-sized bowl-shaped design that's perfect for dipping and dunking every time.
I thought that was a myth.
So however you like to dip, there's only one Dip Lover's chip.
I own this court. Yeah. No, I really own this court. You guys gotta go.
Tostitos Scoops, the Dip Lover's chip.
Vivica A. Fox is causing trouble, and Damon's got to cool his wife off.
You're the bigger woman. Because you've been running.
Brand new My Wife and Kids, ABC Fantasy Wednesday.
Still deadlock with 4:21 to play in the first half. Earlier we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Of the 9 head coaches in the ACC, 5 are coaching at their alma mater. Who are they?
Well, you got Amato, you got Al Groh, you've got Fridge at Maryland. The tough one was Carl Franks.
John Bunning, Springbrook High School, North Carolina, then the Philadelphia Eagles.
I always like to get those Maryland guys in there, don't you?
Absolutely. Fridge got a nice win today over NC State and Byrd Stadium.
Did he ever.
Zach Mills throwing deep. Overthrown, intended for Gerald Smith. Let's take you back to the skyscrapers, Manhattan, and John Saunders.
Tim, everybody's talking about Ken Dorsey for the Heisman, but it's the guy who takes the pitch here. Willis McGahee, who probably is the best player on the team this year, takes it in from a yard out in Miami at Tennessee with a 13-3 lead. Tim.
All right, John, that was a pretty good one you had last night. 2 down in Washington. Had fun watching that. 3rd down and 10.
Casey Williams has been the guy right now for Penn State offensively. But a couple times there's been confusion. 2 plays ago, Zach Mills didn't like what was called, and they just had it again. And Frank Ganner with the hands on the hip, not happy. You don't want to burn timeouts. You got a tight game, 4:16 left. You can't keep going through those timeouts.
It's almost as if Penn State right now is not focused. And you saw Joe Paterno earlier going over to Tony Johnson and letting him know how he felt about the 2 drops. Gerald Smith just made a catch a few minutes ago. He's in an interesting situation. I'll let Samantha Ryan tell you. Sam, tell him the story.
It certainly is interesting, Tim. Now, he's a practicing Muslim and observing the month of Ramadan, which runs through till December 5th. That means he can't eat or drink anything during the daylight hours. It's known as the purification or fasting month. Now, trainer George Salvatore told me Gerald eats a large meal before dawn. Then once it gets dark today, they'll give him a sports drink, protein shake, and an energy bar. They told me they really have to look out for dehydration and weight loss. Guys?
I'd want to be off the field right now. Sun's about to go down. I'd need a snack.
That's why he couldn't catch up to that Zach Mills pass. It was incomplete.
No, Zach
he needed that energy bar.
The hardest part for him is he can't drink water during daylight hours. I mean, it's one thing to not have food, but for an athlete to come to practice dehydrated, it's very difficult. They need him right now lined up in the slot to do something over the middle for Zach Mills.
3rd down and 10. Mills pumps, now rolls. In trouble. And almost intercepted by Jerton Evans, who's having a great first half.
Boy, and that's the second time Zach Mills has been really careless with the ball. Good pressure up front by UVA made Mills get way deeper than he wanted to on a 3rd and 10, but he threw 3 interceptions against Ohio State, 1 which was returned for a touchdown. And this is just a lazy ball, and Evans drops a sure and in field position where Mills has just got to start taking better care of the football.
David Royer set to punt to Marcus Hagans. Hagans averages 8 yards a return. He's looking to break one here or give the Cavaliers good field position. Oh, high high spiraling punt. This is a terrific kick. And great coverage, but the missed tackle. There is no way they can throw a flag on that. He wasn't in the halo.
I agree.
He threw his sandbag first and then the flag. 53-yard punt, 3-yard return.
And Jay Dorsey had the biggest hit of the game so far, coming back to get a block.
Well, I don't think so.
Yeah, this is a bad call. I mean, we're going to see it in super slow motion, but I just did not see this. And it's such a big penalty now because it'll be 10 yards added to the end of Hagen's run. And it's not a spot foul.
Non-contact, kick catch interference, 10 yards, first down.
I don't blame the fans. If we freeze it right when he gets, oh God, you know, Tim, it's right on the edge, and I know the officials, you know, it's a safety issue. It was something that was pushed very hard by the coaches during the offseason, but when it's that close, I think you just got to let these guys play.
3:57 to play in the first half. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well.
Your future, your way. AXA.
Suzuki, proud presenting sponsor of the Heisman Trophy.
If the only obstacles you ever encounter are speed bumps, if you've never used mud as toothpaste, get out of the way. Everybody's talking up the Quadrunner Vincent 500 from Suzuki. And now that a brand new Vincent with the manual transmission has arrived, who knows when they'll stop. The Suzuki Vincent. Get out of the way.
Mommy, come see my picture.
Just bring it here, honey.
Next time, this won't be a problem, because the Home Depot has something new from Behr Paint. No-gloss, scrubbable flat enamel. Marks and scuffs easily wipe clean. And along with free paint clinics and demonstrations, there's a lot going on. So make the most of your weekend this weekend at the Home Depot.
And did it mine?
Your future, your way. AXA.
Certainly enjoying the day in Happy Valley.
Is that Johnny Knoxville?
I think. Wow.
And Virginia offensively, they've been moving it. They've had just a couple of penalties. But Matt Schaub, 13 of 14. He's, for the season, over 68%. He has been so efficient and so good with timing and throwing that ball out when it needs to get out.
Throws to the outside, has it complete, and then dropped by Lundy. Well, you talk about Schaub. He was 41 of 58 last week. 372 games, or last game. They're coming off a bye week, but in the last game against Tech, 41 of 58.
And he is being coached by a guy. This is actually a really nice throw than him, that Lundy just needs to pull in. But he's coached by a guy in Bill Musgrave, who left Oregon as their top passer of all time and was a lot like Schaub. Didn't have a great arm, but just threw everything on time.
Here he throws underneath to Lundy, who spins and stays in bounds. And may have lost a yard. Sean Mayer was there, the leading tackler for Penn State. You know, they used to call this linebacker U. Most coaches will tell you now in today's game, your best athletes are the safeties. Safeties are like linebackers.
And for Virginia, it's really been this year about the first and the second half. They've been very efficient today, not very many points. But 7 of their 9 games they've trailed at halftime. But even against Georgia Tech, they had a chance to win, and they were down 23-0 at halftime.
How about this? In the last 12 games in the Al Groh era, going back to last year, UVA has outscored opponents in the second half, all 12 games. Almost intercepted, but then caught and dropped by Billy McMullen. Now, to go back to that stat I just mentioned, they're only 8-4 over those 12 games, but outscored the opponents each of the 12 in the second half.
What a great break on the ball by Rich Gardner. Squatted down. He knew McMullen was just going to run to about 10 or 11 yards to try to get it, and Gardner made a great play on the ball.
Bryant Johnson back to the 49-yard line. They'll mark him in midfield, and with 2:49 to play in the half, after a 35-yard punt, Penn State has terrific field position.
And this crowd starting to feel it a little bit. They were so quiet through most of the second quarter, and now they're starting to feel a little momentum shifting back to their side. That's what happens when you get behind on first down, like UVA did on that first play. Lundy dropped that pass, and Penn State, who's been so good on first down all year, could use a 6 or 7 yard pickup right here.
Best field position of the afternoon for Penn State. First down, the swing pass out to Jefferson. He picks up 1.5 yards and a flag flies. .239 to play in the half. This will be against Penn State. Joe's hot.
There's just been little things. I mean, it's not like either of these defenses. I mean, they're playing solid, but both offenses have moved the ball fairly effectively, but it's just been little mistakes.
Illegal block in the back by the offense. 10 yards from the start of the foul. Repeat the down.
And the one thing that Penn State has been doing so well this year, first down, they're averaging 6.1 yards on first down, and today they're well under 3 yards, and now you go back and you go to a 1st and 20, and you get way behind the sticks.
Mills, Johnson tries to get to the corner, picks a hole and bangs his way out, almost back to the line of scrimmage. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevy. The cars you can depend on, the cars that last, will be there. The people of Allstate, you're in good hands with Allstate. Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles, and proud sponsor of the Heisman Trophy Award. And by the Office of National Drug Control Policy, Parents, the Anti-Drug.
Be surprised to see a shot over the top here.
Second down and 12 for Mills, who throws it away. Being chased by Raymond Mann.
And they had one-on-one coverage, exactly what they were looking for to the outside on Bryant. And because of the pressure, Zach Mills with a blitz to the outside that just was not picked up by anybody. And now what looked like it was a sure first down, because Bryant on his outcut, 12-yard outcut, was wide open, and now Ganner, very difficult. Now you got to get somebody here to the outside, and I would think if I'm Virginia, I'm going to drop off and try to have 3 guys covering 2.
Third down and 12 for Zach Mills and Penn State. Low snap. Mills with time. Looks for Johnson. He's got a head of steam. He's got a first down. Larry Johnson. And LJ moves the chains.
And Al Groh steals a defensive gem from the New England Patriots. Their game last week, they played the stand around front. UVA does the exact same thing here. Everybody's up on 2 feet, so you have no idea who's coming, what kind of stunts you're going to run, anything like that. And it's picked up beautifully by the front of Penn State. And because Larry Johnson didn't have to pick up a blitzer, standing there all by himself, good recognition by Mills.
They needed 12, picked up 14. Look at the numbers on Johnson. Throws a strike, and it's dropped and then intercepted. No, it hit the ground. It was intended for Bryant Johnson. That ball was being kicked around.
You know, Joe Paterno was talking about Thursday was the first day that Penn State has been able to practice outdoors in 2 weeks because of the weather. And these receivers, and because the running game has been so solid for them in the last 3 ball games, it just looks like these receivers are completely out of sync. They don't know when to expect the ball to get there.
The ball hit the ground. I thought it was patted up by his hand and intercepted. Second down and 10 for the Nittany Lions. The option to Johnson. Inside the 30. Johnson to the 22. Another first down, and the Lions move the chains. A pickup of 16.
Of all the things that Zach Mills does when you talk to opposing coaches, this is what scares them the most. Out of a spread shotgun formation, you force the pitch, but it is so hard because you've got the receivers over there blocking man-to-man, stalk blocking your DBs, and nobody can come up and make the hit on the pitch man.
He's the first quarterback at Penn State committed to that sprint option in a long, long time. Blackstock makes the tackle. Blackstock, the true freshman from Newport News, Virginia. Coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John Saunders will have highlights and analysis from all of today's big games.
Darrell Blackstock now with 9 sacks, leads all the freshmen in the country. And you call him a true freshman, but really he spent a year at Fork Union Military Academy. He's not really a true freshman, almost like a redshirt freshman. But this is a guy, you have to have this type of guy if you're going to play a 3-4.
You know, here's another guy destined for greatness, so they say, out of Newport News, Virginia. Can you believe all the great athletes that have come out of the Tidewater area of Virginia? Look at this.
I'm from
Go
the
down
northern.
that list.
It's unbelievable. And a lot of those guys, Penn State guys. DJ Dozier had such a great career while he was here.
And you know what? On that list, it doesn't even include the best kick returner ever to play in Tidewater, because he's collecting a paycheck from the 76ers under the name of Allen Iverson. And the list also doesn't include the fastest runner to play in that area, Andre Kaysen of Virginia Beach, the record holder in the 60 meters.
Andre Kaysen, a guy that I watched run in high school. One of the fastest men in the world, ran a sub-10 second 100 meters, and they always, and Al Groh said, that's got to be our focus, that Tidewater area.
How about this? The recruiters say Los Angeles is #1, Chicago #2, Houston 3, then you have Tidewater followed by the Miami area. Do you believe that?
I think I got to put Miami up a little bit, but now with Michael Robinson in the game, if you're Virginia, you've got to be ready for a run.
Second down and 13, here he is. Robinson down to the 15.
Well, Penn State has what they call their Mike package, and they have about 12 different plays. Robinson stays in.
Clock continues to move to 38 seconds.
Well, they only have 1 timeout left. Boy, this is awful.
Crowd now on
so confused whether Robinson was coming out. Robinson now at the eye back, burning a lot of clock.
25 seconds for Mills. And incomplete. It's dropped by his fullback Jefferson.
And you got the sense that Mills had to rush through his progression. You know, when you go, and Mills is really hot, and he should be. There was way too much confusion on that sideline as to what personnel package was going to come in. And when they got up to the line, you could see Zach Mills' body language. He never felt comfortable when he was setting his feet, getting ready to throw that ball.
So Robbie Gould comes on for the field goal attempt. He'll have a pretty good angle from 33 yards.
He's been automatic inside of 40. He's 8 for 8 on the season, so it's just like practice for him.
Former walk-on, 11 of 15 for the year. Good snap, good hold, high kick, and it's good. And so with 16.9 seconds remaining in the half, the Nittany Lions take the lead for the first time in this ball game.
And Joe Paterno, I think, wants that third down play back. I mean, you get points on the board with 16.9 seconds left. UVA is going to be hard-pressed to get anything going offensively, but they had it set up the way they wanted. They had the fullback out in the flat, but just everything was hectic, everybody running around, and they never really felt comfortable on that third down play.
But I will say this about Penn State, extremely patient. We talked about maybe out of focus a little bit, several drop passes, a little mismanagement in the clock right there, but for the most part, it's a very patient, extremely talented team led by Joe Paterno.
And Joe said when we were talking to him yesterday that the teams that have beaten them, Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, have done that to them offensively. You know, early in the year, they got some big plays down the field to the Johnsons, and then Larry, you know, got out of the backfield, but UVA making them earn everything they get.
So now we'll see Virginia with the ball, but only 16.9 seconds to work with it. So you'll have this return and maybe just a clock play. Little squib kick. They down it at the 26. Clock stops with 15.4 seconds left. Last week we called it Elimination Month in the BCS. Now let's take a look at our Tostitos BCS standings as they are right now. Oklahoma followed by Ohio State, who had to really struggle today against Purdue to get that win.
You're going to get a flip-flop right there, but I tell you right now, this is the team standing on the outside with a clear view in.
Well, you know what's ironic about that? A couple of weeks ago, they were 5 spots lower than that, or higher. And Bill Little out of Texas, when we were in Austin, said, hey, we're going to win the national championship, and people don't believe we're going to be in it.
Well, because Oklahoma, if they have to go to the Big 12 championship and lose and Texas wins out, they could be sitting in the driver's seat.
The end of the first half, Virginia will get the ball to start the second half. So a terrific first half played by both Virginia and Penn State.
And Algro has to be very happy with how his team came out. They caused a turnover early, capitalized on it. Matt Schaub has been great.
We'll be back with the Capital One halftime show right after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You are watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
Such a dork.
What? I love that song.
Until the very end. We'll be there.
Taco Bell's Grilled Steak Taco. Tender slices of steak marinated and grilled to perfection. For a taste so authentic, you may pull a grilled steak switch out. For authentic carne asada steak, think outside the bun.
All kids can choose not to start using drugs.
But some can't choose to stop. Drugs change what's in their head.
They take over their mind.
Make them do things that make no sense.
You've got to influence your kids' thinking.
Before drugs do.
Addiction is a brain disease. For information, visit stopdrugaddiction.org or call 1-800-729-6686.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea for Men. More evolved skincare.
What makes our French toast fabulous? Is it the egg batter with a hint of cinnamon? The 3 slices of super thick toast? The powdered sugar? Yep. The new fabulous French toast, served with sizzling bacon and sausage links, only at Denny's. It's not that you can get a seasoned grilled chicken breast sandwich with cheddar cheese, crispy onion rings, and sweet hickory spread for lunch that's surprising. It's that you can get it at your favorite breakfast place. The new barbecue chicken sandwich, served with a side of fries, only at Denny's.
You can win this Yamaha ATV. Get the clues tomorrow at 6:30.
The Capital One Halftime Show, brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Welcome back to Times Square in Times Square Stadium here in New York. This is the Capital One Halftime Show, your second half up and coming. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame had that chance for a perfect season ruined last week against Boston College, but they're still talking like they feel they have a chance to play for the national championship. Did not look that way for Ty Willingham's crew against Navy today. Aaron Polanco with the option to Eric Roberts. He takes it in 10 yards. Navy, one win Navy, has the lead, but Carlisle Holiday leads them back again. 28 yards looking for Omar Jenkins. He gets it down to the 3. It sets up a touchdown and the 2-point conversion for the tie game. But Holiday's not done. 67 yards, finding Omar Jenkins. And it's enough to give the Irish the lead as a couple of Navy players collide with each other. Holiday, 13 of 21, 272 yards and a touchdown. Vontez Duff had a 92-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. The third touchdown return of the year also had a punt and an interception. And for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, it's their 39th consecutive win against Navy. That's an NCAA record against an opponent. Number 2, Nebraska beat Kansas today to drive theirs up to 34 straight. Baylor against Texas. Bevo was ready to play. Would he be able to hold the line for Chris Sims? Sims looking for Roy Williams, one of his favorite targets. And this one's deep. 73 yards. The pass on the money. Texas has a 7-0 lead. They were far from done. Chris Sims, 15 yards to Tony Jeffrey. And again, the rifle right there at the goal line takes it in. 41-0 is the final. Sims, 18 of 23, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns, was picked off just once. Roy Williams, 8 receptions for 172 yards and a touchdown. And Cedric Benson carried it 22 times for 64 yards and a touchdown. Northwestern against Iowa. Iowa's still in the hunt for the BCS berth. No losses in the Big Ten. Brad Banks, 65 yards to Maurice Brown. The secondary very porous for Northwestern. Gives Iowa a 28-10 lead. Then Brad Banks again, 28 yards, finding Darren Clark, who just bowls his way into the end zone. 49-10 the score at that point. 62-10 is the final. Brad Banks, 10 of 10, 197 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also carried it 5 times for 54 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And Maurice Brown, 4 receptions, 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. NC State and Maryland, both still with a chance to win the ACC. For Maryland, it would be the 2nd straight year. You want to see a great fake? Everybody bites on this Scott McBrien fake, including the camera guy. 22 yards, he takes it in for the touchdown. 10 of 18, 130 yards and a touchdown. Phillip Rivers, though, with a last chance here, ends up getting picked off by Raymond Custis. And Maryland beats NC State. Kentucky against LSU, Jared Lorenzen. You know he's going to go through the air. 44 yards, the pump fake. And then he finds Aaron Boone for Boone, his 3rd touchdown reception of the game. It ties the game at 27 apiece. But LSU comes back. This is a Hail Mary. Marcus Randall, 75 yards. Watch it get tipped once, twice, then off the fingertips of Devery Henderson, who takes it the rest of the way for the touchdown. And LSU wins it 33-30. For Henderson, 5 receptions, 201 yards. This is the Capital One Halftime Show.
Welcome to the Capital One All-America Mascot Pageant with ESPN's Kenny Mayne and Trey Wingo.
Polyester and proud, mascots of America.
Stay tuned for the exciting competition.
If you had but one wish, what would it be? World peace.
Go to CapitalOneBowl.com to vote for your favorite mascot to win the National Mascot of the Year scholarship.
What's in your wallet?
I love students here at UVA because they are such special people in terms of what they bring to our institution. I have that pleasure, that joy of being a part of their lives. I am director of the Peer Advisor Program. I say to students, I want you to come by the office. And don't come by just if you have a problem. Come by if you've done very well on a test. Whatever it is, come by and let's share this.
The Capital One Halftime Show, brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? From Times Square in New York, John Saunders.
And welcome back to Times Square Stadium here in the Capital One Halftime Show. And there's a huge milestone about to happen today for Larry Coker. Consecutive wins to start a career are not easy. But he passes Terry Bowden if he gets a win today. My very own partner, Terry, by the way, is at home a little bit under the weather. Terry, we expect you to be back. Don't be out sending resumes out to coaching jobs when they look at these numbers. Walter Camp, of course, #1 all-time at 28. But Larry Coker had to get past Tennessee to get past Terry. And Ken Dorsey would go to work early. 44 yards looking for Andre Johnson, his favorite receiver. This one, a lot of air under it. Johnson has to come back to the ball as it's underthrown. And then Willis McGahee is going to punch this one in from a yard out. Everyone is talking about Ken Dorsey for the Heisman Trophy. Willis McGahee clearly is the best player on the team right now. Andre Johnson might be the second best player on the team. McGahee already with 53 yards, and Miami has the 16-3 lead. Oklahoma, #1 in the BCS, facing Texas A&M, and Nate Hibble looking 6 yards to Quentin Griffin, who always seems to play great when he's on ABC, just pulls this one in and takes it to 6, 7-0 the lead. But Texas A&M's quarterback, Reggie McNeil, is looking to go 61 yards to Terrence Murphy. They get the touchdown. Point after is not good, so it's a 10-6 game. Then Reggie McNeil finding Porter. Plenty of time. A great defense by Oklahoma. Not a lot of pressure there. Perfect pass on the money. Ties the game at 13 apiece. Take you back a couple of years ago. Oklahoma struggled to get a win at Texas A&M. They came from behind down 10. Went on to win the national championship, so it looks like they're at it one more time. Ohio State, the third major unbeaten, and the Purdue fans, well, that's the type of season it's been. They'd rather watch crowd surfing. Mike Nugent, 22 yards in the first half. Now, Joe Teller says, time has expired. We looked at it, Joe. They got the snap off in time, and it was good. Craig Krenzel then. This is on a 4th and a long one. 37 yards to Michael Jenkins. It's on the money. Touchdown, and then one last chance. Kyle Orton is picked off by Chris Gamble after he scrambles around a little bit. So the Ohio State Buckeyes hold on for the 10-6 win. When they get the touchdown, that was their first lead of the game. Craig Krenzel, 13-20, 173 yards. The touchdown pass, he was also picked off once. Maurice Clarett, by the way, the freshman, 14 carries, 54 yards. He hurt that shoulder one more time. Now, the Ohio State Buckeyes won in 1967 when they won the national championship, rather, back in 68 with a 10-0 start. Since that time, they've gone 11-0 4 times, including this year. Now, they still have Illinois and Michigan. The last 3 times before that, they lost the games each along the way, and they still have that game against Michigan, which they're pointing to from the start of the season. Jason Gesser, Washington State against Oregon. Looking for DeVar Darling. Grabs it wide open, points skyward for his brother, 7-0. Then Gesser again has the ball stripped by Stephen Moore. No one knows where the ball is except Moore. He goes 10 yards for the touchdown to tie the game. Jason Fife goes to work, 16 yards to Jason Willis as Oregon gets the lead at 14-10, but Jason Gesser has a couple of touchdown passes, so Washington State with just 1 loss, and they are very much in the hunt for the national championship. They need help above them, of course, but with 1 loss, they're sitting in position. 17-14 is the lead there. Virginia Tech lost to Pitt a week ago. That probably crushed their hopes for a national championship. Ryan Randall, though, 75 yards to Ernest Wilford. Virginia Tech has a 14-3 lead over Syracuse. Walter Reyes has a touchdown run for Syracuse, though. The Orange, who started so terribly this season, suddenly finding their game a little bit, looking much better, but still 14-12 is the score of that game at halftime. Bowling Green, the 4th unbeaten team, but they're not talking about a national championship. They just hope to get out alive against Northern Illinois, 23-10. Haldy with 78 yards passing. Florida and Vanderbilt. This is not supposed to be a tough game for the Gators, but it has been. 21-17 the score there. Grossman has a touchdown run. Florida State against Georgia Tech. Some of you watching this game, and Florida State has their destiny in their hands in the ACC. If they win out, they will be the ACC champs, and they will have that BCS berth out of the ACC. Perfect 5-0 right now. Georgia Tech got NC State last week. Some of you also watching this one. Penn State with a 10-7 lead over Virginia. Penn State going back to a bowl game. Matt Schaub with a touchdown pass there, and Zach Mills also with a touchdown pass, a 3-point game. Stick around. This is the Capital One Halftime Show. We'll continue with more from Times Square in a moment.
This holiday at your Yamaha dealer, every motorcycle and every ATV can be yours for 0% financing with 0 down and 0 payments. Plus, get up to $300 in holiday cash on select models. That's right, $300. So this holiday, give them what they really want.
Welcome back to the Capital One All-America Mascot Pageant and the Talent Competition.
You're toast.
Coming up next is the lovely Evening Gown Spectacular.
Size 40? In your dreams.
Vote at CapitalOneBowl.com for the National Mascot of the Year. Tune in New Year's Day to see who wins.
What's in your wallet?
The Capital One Halftime Show. Brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Tuesday's date night on ABC. But this dad wants to stop any guy from dating his daughters.
Why don't you just lock me in my room?
Your mother won't let me. A new 8 simple rules. Then Jim's sister-in-law is picked to be on The Bachelor.
This is so exciting. Oh, I should have applied. Oh, right.
It's all new Tuesday, starting at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Welcome back once again to Times Square. A couple of other games in the top 25, including Colorado, trying to bounce back from losing to Oklahoma last week. Chris Brown, who had just an average day in that game, goes in from a yard out. This in overtime. The Missouri quarterback, Brad Smith, trying to answer. Finds Darius Outlaw, but he fumbles the ball. It is recovered by Corey Masoni, and the game comes to an end. Colorado holds off Missouri in overtime. Chris Brown, 35 carries, 211 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Temple was a handful for number 23 Pitt, 29-22 the final there. Rod Rutherford, 13 of 20, 125 yards, 2 touchdown passes, and a touchdown run as well. Right now, let's take it back out to your second half.
108,000 fans being entertained by the Penn State Blue Band, led by Dick Bundy. Our presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You are watching ABC Sports Championship Television.
Gee, honey, you never got homesick before?
I know.
Thought they said you hurt your right leg.
Oh, yeah.
With all its comfort and luxury, nothing brings a family together like Chrysler Town & Country.
Band camp.
We better go.
Get a leather trim seating credit of up to $16.70 on LXI and limited models.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
ABC Sunday. A television event. Alias style.
Emma.
And this one's definitely a shocker.
I need more time.
A new Alias, ABC Sunday, 9/8 Central. And continue the adventure with Alias Declassified, a New York Times bestseller, Recruited, available where books are sold.
Welcome to the kingdom.
The original Whopper just got extreme. For a limited time, get juicy flame-broiled beef, 2 kinds of cheese, 4 strips of crispy bacon. The extreme bacon and cheese Whopper at Burger King now. Welcome to the kingdom.
Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. You gotta have something if you want to be with me, King.
Get 0 APR with 0 down payment and 0 payments for 90 days on every new 02 and 03. 0 APR, 0 down payment, and 0 payments. See your local Chevy dealer.
I'm a Ford truck man. That's all I drive. I ain't got no boundaries. I don't compromise.
Ford truck season is going on now, where you can lease a Ford Escape for just $279 a month.
You'll love its hot look, spacious 5-person interior, 201 horsepower engine, and available MP3 sound system. Lease a Ford Escape for just $279 a month during truck season at your Quality Plus Ford dealer.
Ain't no doubt my king of the mountains built Ford Tug.
The new 99-cent BK value menu. 11 items for 99 cents every day. Like our flame-broiled bacon cheeseburger with 3 crispy strips of bacon, or the grilled sourdough burger on golden sourdough bread. The 99-cent BK value menu. At BK, you got it.
Storm Tracker 16 Real-Time Doppler. Only on WNEP TV.
The history of running backs at Penn State, a treasure chest of All-Americans from Franco Harris and Lydell Mitchell to the Heisman and John Cappelletti.
Carter hit, right tackles, 20, 30, he's gone.
Today, Larry Johnson is on a roll. 15 carries, 92 yards. And folks, they are starting to use those 2 words in the same sentence, Johnson and Heisman. The second half is coming up, Penn State and Virginia. The Cavaliers scored first, but Penn State came roaring back to take a 10-7 lead. Right now, let's go down to the field and Samantha Ryan. Sam?
Thanks, Tim. Coach, your team has never played in a stadium of this magnitude. That said, how important was it for you guys to come out early and get on the board first?
It wasn't so much the stadium, Samantha, as was the opposition. We came out well on defense. We made a play. We played well on defense, but we're not making dramatic plays, and we certainly need more of those in the second half.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Tim?
All right, Sam, you know, you listen to Al Groh, you'd never know he has that many freshmen playing in a ball game like this.
Yeah.
He just wants production.
Well, and he has a lot of confidence in these young guys. He didn't recruit them to stand on the sideline next to him. They got a turnover early, and they made Penn State pay when they got down into the red zone. Tight end Heath Miller, who's been so good for them, down inside the 10-yard line, his 8th touchdown catch of the year. Then Zach Mills goes to work with Casey Williams, his fine tight end. But the story for the 2 offenses, of course, Larry Johnson up to his old antics, 92 yards rushing in the first half. And Matt Schaub has been so good, 14 of 17, 113 yards in that touchdown. That's really been the story for these 2 offenses.
And if you look at the statistics, the second half belongs to
UVA, baby. They've been so good in the second half of ball games this year.
Well, Joe Paterno and Penn State don't want that to happen. As a matter of fact, they've looked at those statistics. They know what is on the line here this afternoon. This takes Weeks 5 yards deep. He downs it there. They'll bring it out to the 20. Take a look at the Pacific Life game summary, first half statistics.
No, not really surprising. UVA, not much of a running team, although negative 13 yards, a little inflated or deflated, I should say, because of the sacks by Michael Haynes. But first down has really been tough with both of these teams, and they've got to start getting 3, 4, 5 yards. You don't need 8, 9, or 10. And really surprising, Penn State at 2.2 yards. They came into the game averaging over 6 yards on first down. And both of these teams, a lot of yards for a few points, especially for Penn State.
First down, Cavaliers. Schaub with time, throws, has it complete. Billy McMullen breaks the tackle and look out. His 5th catch of the year into Penn State territory, the game rather, into Penn State territory, and down to the 38-yard line. So a strike by Schaub, a catch by Billy McMullen. He now has 48 for the year, and he picks up 41 yards there.
You know, a lot of people want to talk about yards after the catch. And I'll tell you right now, the biggest key to being able to make things happen is to catch the ball with your hands. Anytime you have to let that ball come into your body, your feet leave the ground, you can't make moves. And right there, as he caught it, he saw the defenders coming around, and he was able to bounce back to the outside.
I want to repeat, I went over to the Virginia radio booth, and Mac McDonald said that the Cavaliers have outscored their opponent 12 straight games in the second half. Wow. Here they go deep. Almost intercepted. It was incomplete. It was intended for Ryan Sawyer.
Well, and you have a 320-pounder breathing down your neck like Matt Schaub did that time with Jimmy Kennedy.
And great coverage by Rich Gardner.
Yeah, this ball just slightly underthrown because of the pressure. And that you just can't defend it any better right there. Gardner had that great play earlier there in the second quarter with a nice break on the ball, but he turned back around, found the ball, was able to make a play.
Alvin Pearman comes back into the ball game. He was shaken up early. Second down and 10. Pearman cuts it back. Fumble. Penn State says they have it. No signal yet. Andy Ryland says he has the ball, and he does. So Tom Bradley's defense forces the turnover, and Andy Ryland comes up with it.
Coaches talk all the time about running to the ball. Watch these guys in the middle as Pearman tries to get to the outside. And Anthony Adams, all of these guys just sprinting down there. Boy, I don't know who knocked it out, but Anthony Adams, what a fantastic nose guard for Joe Paterno. Mike Haynes does a great job getting back inside, and Pearman is hurt. He dropped that ball, Tim, not from a hit. He dropped it because he hurt his right foot again.
Here's Johnson. Picks up a tough 3 yards. Even when Larry Johnson looks like he's hit immediately.
Yeah, but watch this right here. He got hurt. Boy, I'm not so sure. They had to help him off the field. And that, remember, he got hurt first play of the game when he got leg whipped. And as soon as he goes to plant, watch his right leg, he just gives up on it. Remember we saw Tony Hollings from Georgia Tech early in the year do the same thing? Boy, that doesn't look so good for Pearman, and that pain made him drop the ball. It was not a hit by Penn State.
Gave him 3, Johnson on the carry, so it's 2nd down and 7. Mills, after play action, throws to a wide open Brian Johnson, who secures the ball and moves it down inside the 35. Brian Johnson, a 6'2" senior from Baltimore, picks up 24 yards.
Boy, what a nice call by Fran Ganter, the offensive coordinator for Penn State. Play action one way, brings Zach Mills back. He's got all day, and this route took all day. Bryant was the far receiver to Mills' left, ran a deep in cut. It took forever for it to get open. It was because he moved the pocket with Zach Mills that they were able to wait for that to come open.
Casey Williams jumped. Flags fly.
Well, you got to think that Al Groh is going to go back and question his decision to put Alvin Pearman. And I'm sure Pearman was saying, I'm fine, and I know he got clearance from the doctors to play him. But that was the leg, and you could see the knee brace that he had put on so he could go back here and try to play in the second half. But that man is in a lot of pain. That knee tweaked, and he fumbled. It was not a hit by Penn State that did it. And you can't really fault Groh for listening to a player and the coaches to get him back in, but that's what caused that turnover.
Mills 12 for 20 on the sprint option. Now pitches late. Johnson inside the 30.
It's tough to be an official in this game. But we saw this play, this exact play, go for big yardage in the first half. It's a shotgun formation, and it's so difficult to get ready for an option when you're spread out and you're expecting some kind of pass. And Zach Mills just does such a great job. And right there. So you don't want to just be standing around on the sideline. You see a 230-pounder coming, you better start backing up.
Say he runs angry. He looked angry.
You don't have to be mad at everybody in the building, just the UVA guys.
2nd down and 7. Mills. Complete. And Tony Johnson holds on to this one for the first down. His first catch after 2 drops, and a pretty good talking to from Joe Paterno.
Well, and give this one to Zach Mills, too. I mean, he was looking for Casey Williams, his tight end. Williams looked like he might have got held a little bit, but he came off of his first receiver back to his second. Tony Johnson running a deep comeback to the outside, and the talk that Joe Paterno had with Tony obviously paid off.
Now the band comes to life, the crowd on its feet. Here's the option. Dangerous pitch. Johnson gets a blocker in front of him. Inside the 15. Inside the 11-yard line goes Larry Johnson. And he's over 100 yards again.
Frank Ganter talks about Larry Johnson and the confidence that he has. 113 yards now. Watch him put his hand on the back of the fullback as he's coming through the line right there with Paul Jefferson. Watch this. Trying to set up his block and have the patience. All right, which way are you going to block him? and now I'm going to cut back inside. And there's those extra 2 or 3 yards you're talking about, where it looks like, oh, he's going to fall at about 8 or 9, and he ends up with 10 or 11 because of the patience.
713 yards in the last 3.5 games. Mills, shuffle pass to his fullback. Inside goes Jefferson. Touchdown, Penn State. Paul Jefferson with his second touchdown of the year from 10 yards out. Robbie Gould to add the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is good. And it's 17-7. Penn State. 12:37 to play in the third. Oh, Mr. Jefferson.
What am I looking for? A lot of things, really. Athletic, good looking, a nice body wouldn't hurt. Stylish, for sure. And none of this taking it slow stuff.
The 250 horsepower Chrysler 300M with a race-inspired suspension and the most powerful V6 engine in its class. It has everything you're looking for.
I've always had a thing for power.
Now from Chrysler, our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, because love is a commitment.
My job is to predict the future. Every year, over 500,000 construction workers are injured in the U.S. So at Liberty Mutual, we're using 90 years of research and experience to help customers predict hazards and correct them, so accidents never happen in the first place. Some people say I'm psychic.
Liberty Mutual. It's more than insurance. It's insurance in action.
I say, hey, that's my job.
Thrifty.com. Great cars, great rates, 24/7. Thrifty.com. Great cars, great rates, 24/7.
One explosive case.
Don't play games with me.
Will push this man.
I don't really want to talk about this now.
To his breaking point.
I'm leaving.
A new practice, ABC Sunday, 10/9 Central.
Ten-point lead for the Nittany Lions with 12:37 to play. They turn the fumble into a 61-yard march, and Jefferson scored from 10 yards out. Thomas and Weeks are deep. And his kick has some air under it. All the way to the back of the end zone. Weeks downs it for another touchback. And the Cavaliers will have it first down at the 20.
You know, this shovel pass, the whole key is you leave this guy unblocked. He gets up the field. Everyone else blocks down. And it just becomes wide open for Jefferson, who's moving on up.
To the north side of the stadium.
But you just take the aggressiveness away from a defense when that shovel pass is so nice. You let him get up the field, and then you come right back underneath. And it's such an effective play down inside the red zone for Penn State.
Spread formation, quick pass to the outside. This is a pickup of 11 before he's knocked out of bounds. That's Michael McGrew with his second catch of the afternoon.
Pass is complete to number 80, Michael McGrew.
Well, now UVA Matt Schaub, who's a very experienced quarterback. He has to do his best Zach Milzak. Just remain calm, stay within the offense. In the last 2 drives, they've had big pass completions on first down. Now they just got to take advantage of that momentum.
Absolutely nothing. Taken down by Anthony Adams, and Lundy never had a chance. Let's go down to Sam.
Guys, Virginia's Alvin Pyramid was sobbing on the bench moments ago. Then he left the field. He limped off into the locker room. If you recall, in the first half of this game, he suffered a sprained right knee. Trainers tell me he re-aggravated that knee. His return to the game is doubtful. Tim?
All right, Sam, he went dead leg. It almost looked like the knee popped. Second down and 11 for Schaub. Lundy breaks a tackle. Out to the 37-yard line. Let's take you back to New York and John Saunders. John?
Tim, Texas A&M had taken the lead on Reggie McNeil's 3rd touchdown pass of the day early in the second half. Nate Hibble comes right back. 68 yards to Curtis Fagan, and he legs it out for the touchdown. Oklahoma gets the extra point, and the game is tied at 20 apiece. Tim?
Wow. There have been some terrific games this afternoon, and there's one right here. 3rd down and 4 for the Cavaliers. Schaub, 5-step, throws underneath, complete. That should be enough for the first down. Again, it's McGrew.
Boy, and what an excellent job by Schaub. Standing in there, a full-out blitz coming from Penn State. And Anthony Adams, he's playing like his hair's on fire for Penn State in the middle. Beats the nose guard right away, but Schaub stood in there and picked up a very important first down. I know it's still early in the 3rd quarter, but things could have started to get out of hand had they not picked that up.
Schaub's numbers are off the charts. 17 for 21, 171 yards. And that should have been caught. Lundy just dropped it.
We'll take a look at the pass chart for Matt Schaub, and he always delivers the ball around. He's so very good at distributing the ball, almost equal to the field. A little lacking over on this side, but really the key for me is how good he is when he comes down to the running backs in the flat and everywhere else. He's 6 for 6 for 48 yards to his running backs. That one there, a little bit thrown to the outside, but he's so good and efficient to those running backs.
He needs 10 on 2nd down. Hits his tight end, and the flag comes in late.
Well, that's a big penalty on Jimmy Kennedy.
Hitting Schaub late. That's a mental error.
And that's got to drive Tom Bradley crazy.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, 15 yards from the end of the play, automatic personal.
And Joe Paterno from the old school. I played for a guy from the old school, Don James, up at the University of Washington. You do something dumb, and guess where you go get to stand? Right next to the head coach, catch an earful, and then settle down for a second.
I played for one of those guys as well, Jerry Claiborne.
I think you should do it. A lesson's got to be learned that, you know, in a game like this, when you've got some momentum, you cannot give UVA a chance to keep their drive alive.
They move it all the way down to the 40. Backside pressure. It's Mayer's got the sack. Sean Mayer. Second sack of the year. A loss of 6.
Well, and it's hard to tell. You know, you never know if it's a breakdown in protection or if Schaub just does not see the blitz coming. But Mayer, comes from the outside. Well, it's a play fake. Schaub's got to know that's coming. That's his guy. That's, you know, when you hear what's called hot reads or side adjusts, Schaub's got to know, and I know he's got his back turned, but he has got to peek that safety to that side because he knows he has no protector over there.
Mayer holds the school record for number of tackles by a DB. This is Johnson, and he's hit for a loss. John Bronson, the young sophomore, made the play. 6'3", 265-pounder.
Boy, right now, this Penn State, the left defensive end, he's getting double teamed. And Heath Miller, the tight end, just comes off too soon. And this front for Penn State, all across the board, they are playing so intensely right now.
Deafening in here now on 3rd and 17. Haynes almost had him. And Schaub runs out of bounds and gives up.
And the biggest fear of Al Groh coming into this game were the big fellas up front for Penn State. And they have taken over this game for the Nittany Lions.
So Tom Hagen comes out to punt, a freshman who won the job as soon as he got to UVA. Puts up a high knuckleball that will hit it at about the 13. Brian Johnson had no chance. It went out of bounds. A 33-yard punt. And he does his job backing up Penn State. 8:47 to play in the 3rd.
Size. Do that screwdriver too? I'm in.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Right at that. Pliers.
Make it a Bud Light.
You cannot do it by yourself. You need to tap into the power of the club.
The Chrysler Town & Country LX, with an available rear seat DVD player and built-in cooler console. So now, going out isn't nearly as exciting as staying in.
What are you doing? Nothing.
Chrysler Town & Country, the ultimate minivan.
You need the power of the club.
Get a leather trim seating credit of up to $16.70 on LXI and limited models.
The Nokia 7210 phone. The new pocket translator. We make picture messaging easy so you can see your world in a whole new way. Nokia, connecting people.
Darkness has taken over the mountains of central Pennsylvania as you look at Old Main. An ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, and investments. Rely on the strength of Pacific Life. And by Zocor. Talk to your doctor about Zocor today. Lights on, people enjoying themselves. A mild evening in central Pennsylvania. Very unusual for this time of year in State College.
Boy, and Al Groh said something about his defense, that they were playing solid, but they hadn't made any drastic plays. They're going to need to start taking some chances in man coverage, and here comes the safety blitz.
Larry Johnson is tagged and makes it pay off for another 2 yards as the tackler, Jerton Evans, pushes him forward.
Boy, does Evans bring the wood or what? I mean, you can hear him all the way up here. And this is what I was talking about. Al Golden, his defensive coordinator, who played tight end here at Penn State back in the late 80s, early 90s. They're going to have to, they like to play a little, not very risky defense, but now they're going to have to start taking some shots defensively because you get the feeling that Larry Johnson and his mates are going to get things rolling.
2nd down and 9. Mills strike to Johnson. Bryant Johnson out to the 34-yard line.
Bryant Johnson, I mean, they're starting to blitz, so now you're starting to see one-on-one, and Joe Paterno says, now we got some guys who can beat you one-on-one, and I don't blame Winborn for giving Bryant, but I just think that UVA, if they want to start making a couple of plays here on defense, a turnover, some batted balls, they're going to have to start compressing that air that they're giving to these receivers.
Penn State is picking them up in chunks. 22 yards on that play. 1st down, Nittany Lions. Again, Mills to throw, and he's had the hot hand wide open. Mike Gasparotto. Gasparotto inside the 30 to the 27-yard line. Only his second reception of the year, but a pickup of 27 for Gasparotto.
And this is another time that UVA has had some confusion. Gasparotto lined up. It's just a release. They're only rushing 3 and dropping 8, but he just trails right on Casey Williams. Actually, hats off to Fran Ganner on that call. He used Casey Williams as a decoy, and Gasparotto was a fantastic receiving back in South Carolina out of high school, and that was just a nice call by Ganner.
First down. They come around the outside. Michael Robinson and Cavaliers are not fooled. For Gasparotto, that's only his second reception. But what a spectacular play that was. His dad coached here at Penn State.
When you talk to Joe about some of the guys that he's been recruiting over the years, they obviously thought they had a chance at Gasparotto out of Irmo, South Carolina. He had over 100 catches in high school. So he's a nice little changeup. I mean, Larry Johnson, their every down pounder, and then they bring him in, and they really used Casey Williams to perfection on that play, the tight end.
Second down and 15. Mills again with plenty of time, throws to Robinson, incomplete. Well, I stood next to Robinson at practice the other day, Thursday. He is a thick athlete. Bigger than he looks, 6'3", 231 pounds.
Yeah, he's got a lot of different skills, too. This ball thrown a little bit behind him. He's being covered by a linebacker, Merrill Robertson. You'd figure that's a mismatch, but that's really nice coverage by Robertson.
I don't know. They both look like linebackers.
Yes, they do. Now, you know, you don't have to get all of it here because Robbie Gould is such a good field goal kicker. I hate to say play conservative, but I think you're looking for 5-10 yards to try to get Gould into field goal range.
Sean McHugh comes in as a blocking back. Backside pressure by Blackstock. Pass intended for Tony Johnson and incomplete, thrown out of bounds.
Well, and Al Golden, the defensive coordinator for UVA, blitzed almost every time except on that pass to Gasparotto. And that time the pressure caused a little bit of confusion. And this would be right at about 51, 52 yards. And Robbie Gould already kicked a 51-yarder into the wind against Wisconsin. But
only 1 for 3, though, at that distance.
Yeah, and the other thing is, too, at this stage in the game, up 10 points, this is the right call. I mean, you get a block kick because the kicker will try to drive it low. This is the absolute right decision. But Al Golden made a nice call to disrupt that route.
Well, you want to pooch it, though. A touchback here, and then it's only a change of 13 yards. It goes into the end zone. And Gould takes a timeout.
And there goes a little more confusion from Penn State. I don't know why they'd have to burn a timeout there. It's just a regular punt situation.
Still a 10-point lead with 6:41 to play.
Since I had my bypass surgery, I have a new outlook on life. I don't sweat the small stuff. I take time to stop and smell the roses. And I enjoyed life's little surprises. And on a more serious note, I take Zocor. Along with diet and exercise, Zocor lowered my cholesterol to where it should be. Zocor is also proven to significantly reduce the risk of heart attack among people with high cholesterol and heart disease. And in the past 10 years, more than 140 million prescriptions have been filled for Zocor.
Zocor is a prescription medication and is not for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience and about any medicines you are taking.
Along with diet and exercise, ask your doctor about Zocor and take care of yourself. It's your future. Be there.
On November 12th, who the man? Yoda Man. When you take home Star Wars Episode 2 on DVD, digitally filmed, digitally mastered, a perfect clone. Own the first major live-action film on DVD captured directly from its digital source. This 2-disc set is packed with over 6 hours of bonus features you'll actually want to watch. Star Wars Episode 2, Yoda the Man, on DVD November 12th.
Put these 2 fingers down and hold it with your thumb, and you go, hook 'em! Hook 'em!
Ohio State, Illinois, or Iowa, Minnesota. Next Saturday on ABC.
Penn State's timeout made them rethink the situation. And so now the Nittany Lions are lining up for a field goal, which I think is a good call.
I'll argue with you. If he makes it, it's a great call.
Well, it's only 13 yards to the 20.
I always get scared with long kicks.
It's a 50-yarder, no question about that.
Drives a little low, and somebody gets a hand up. It could be a huge momentum change.
He got it all.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, he drilled it.
It's good. 70.
Are you kidding me? Told you it was a good call.
Well, Joe Paterno knows he's got a good kicker. Robbie Gould was 4 for 4 against Wisconsin, 2 over 41 of 51 yards. He's got plenty of.
Made them rethink the situation. And so now the Nittany Lions are lining up for a field goal, which I think is a good call.
I'll argue with you. If he makes it, it's a great call.
Well, it's only 13 yards to the 20.
I always get scared with long kicks.
It's a 50-yarder, no question about that.
Drives a little low, and somebody gets a hand up. It could be a huge momentum change.
He got it all.
Oh, yes.
And I mean, he drilled it.
It's good. 70.
Are you kidding me? Told you it was a good call.
Well, Joe Paterno knows he's got a good kicker. Robbie Gould was 4 for 4 against Wisconsin, 2 over 41 of 51 yards. He's got plenty of leg. And there was no chance he was driving this ball. Watch how quickly this ball gets up in the air and does not lack of confidence. He's a guy who's always saying, Coach, let me try the long one.
I'm wondering now if he called that timeout. He was there to punt, looked at it, said, hold on.
Well, I guarantee you he was in Joe Paterno's ear saying, Coach, come on. And Paterno, going back to that Wisconsin game, said he was chasing me around the sideline wanting to try that 51-yarder, and it ended up being the one that gave him some breathing room, and that might be the case here.
What did he say? He was like a puppy looking for a firehouse. Joe Paterno in his 37th year as head coach, 53 years in State College. Having lunch with Joe yesterday, all of us did, and he was telling us how the old stadium was over by Rec Hall, right there in the middle of campus.
Cut it into sections.
Cut it into quarters and moved it over here and rebuilt it.
And he went into Rip Ingles' office after they decided to do it and said, Coach, it'll ruin Penn State football forever if they move that stadium.
Weeks takes this, downs it. Let's take you back to Manhattan and John Saunders. John?
And we'll take you out to the Pac-10, Tim. Oregon against Washington State. Jason Gesser. A little screen is what he's trying to set up, but Kevin Mitchell steps in front of it, 20 yards for the touchdown. Oregon has the lead 21-17. And now there are just 3 remaining Division 1A undefeated teams. Bowling Green falls to Northern Illinois. Tim.
Wow. Wow, as elimination month continues.
Northern Illinois, one of those teams out of the MAC that had a couple big wins early, beat Wake Forest at home. I knew that was a dangerous one for Bowling Green.
Cavaliers on 1st down and 10. This is Lundy. Out to the 25-yard line, and a sure tackle made there by Brian Scott. This is his 3rd year as a starter. Excellent cover guy, and you can see there, fine tackler. Also a terrific piano player.
I hope he doesn't break his fingers trying to make any of those tackles.
Plays the drums, plays the piano, sings. Very, very talented young man.
You know, Tom Bradley, he was talking to him about this offense, said it's so difficult because of the personnel. They keep their personnel groupings the same the Cavaliers do, and then they come out in multi-formation. You'll see some changes.
That'll be a 1st down pass to Billy McMullen. McMullen now with 6 catches. He averages 14 yards a catch.
I am so impressed with Matt Schaub, a guy who grew up about an hour from here. He said he's got about 40 people in the stadium that he's either related to or knew in high school. That time, he took a shot right in the kisser from Jimmy Kennedy and delivered the ball on time. His numbers have been absolutely spectacular today. 19 of 24, 180 yards. He just really played well for Al Groh today.
1st down for Virginia. Schaub throws. It's tipped, incomplete. Had a nice opportunity yesterday to sit down at the hotel with Matt Schaub. We asked him about his days at Virginia, how he's progressed. We asked him about his development. He told us this.
Something that I really focused on this offseason was my decision making and making quicker decisions. And instead of holding the ball in the pocket and waiting for someone to get open, I'm able to anticipate, the openings where the receivers will be a lot faster, and it allows me to get the ball out on time.
Gets this one out on time, complete to McMullen. McMullen picks up 8 yards.
Well, and this is something Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator for Al Groh at Virginia. Penn State plays a lot of off corners. Even when they're in man coverage, they play off the ball a lot. That's the way Tom Bradley likes his corners to play. He wants to have help. There's Musgrave right there. You can't tell it's him. He's hiding behind the goggles. That's Al Golden to his left, the defensive coordinator.
I couldn't tell it was him without the binoculars. He's got a new goatee.
New goatee, yeah. But that play has worked really well, and now they're in a position where they can do a couple different things on third down, including play action.
They only need one. They got it. And Wally Lundy picks up 4.
When Al Groh hired his staff here at UVA, he went young on purpose. I mean, both of his coordinators, Al Golden and Bill Musgrave, are under 35 years old. A lot of experience. Bill was an assistant coach in the NFL, an offensive coordinator for a while with the Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. And he said, when I sat down with Bill Musgrave, me coming from my defensive side in the NFL and Bill from offense, we talked the exact same language at how we saw an offensive team.
Shaw throws, and I mean to tell you, Anderson was just tattooed. Ottawa Anderson was hit by Chris Harrell, and he knows it.
Harrell, a guy who's had to really step up for Penn State, and Tom Bradley. They've had so many injuries in that secondary, and the safety guy played cornerback last year. That's a nice read.
Harrell said he wanted to play like Ronnie Lott.
Well,
that's similar.
Yeah. Just don't have to have a choice to have your finger amputated or not to continue to play like Ronnie did.
2nd down and 9. Again, the quick strike. They get it out to Estes. Cavaliers now on the move.
And the mark of a good offensive coordinator, the best offensive minds that I played for, Dennis Erickson, played under him, played under Joe Bugle, a couple of years with the Arizona Cardinals. But those guys, whenever they need a chunk and they've had something that's worked, like for UVA, that little slip screen, continue to go back to it. If it's not being stopped, who cares if you're calling it 10 times a game?
3rd down and long and incomplete. It was intended for Ottawa Anderson, but he never had a chance.
And Bill Musgrave, I just said, keep calling the things that work. Went right back to a screen. And credit Tom Bradley for calling a defense that was there to blow it up. He moved everybody up towards the line of scrimmage. Brian Scott up in press coverage blew that thing away.
The Lions have allowed only 3 teams and only 1 running back to rush for 100 yards this season, and they are really playing well here. Here's Brian Johnson to field the punt.
And that one's definitely a halo violation. Add 10 to the end of that run.
But Brian Johnson did the right thing. Why call a fair catch? With the halo rule, no one should call one.
Yeah, you had a conversation with Ralph Friedgen last week about that exact thing.
He laughed, though. He said, my God never does. Matter of fact, he's returned 3 for touchdowns.
He's got 3 now. That's right. Why would you? I mean, if the guy's too close and you go to catch it and you fumble, it's going to be a halo violation anyway, and you're going to get the ball back.
Non-contact, kick catch interference on the kicking team, 10-yard penalty from the spot, 1st down.
Well, Al Groh got one of those earlier, and now he gets one that costs him.
Officiating crew today from the Atlantic Coast Conference. Our referee is Jimmy Knight.
Boy, and you know, Tom Bradley took a lot of heat here for a while. He took over for Jerry Sandusky when he retired, and Joe Paterno said that was the guy that I definitely wanted in there. A lot of people were saying, oh, they're not playing well defensively. Boy, have they really turned it up in the 2nd half of this season.
Right now, it's a 2-touchdown game. Penn State can blow it wide open here. But Johnson carries it for 9. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1.
But, you know, the one thing yesterday when we were talking to Joe Paterno, and he constantly says how much he's enjoyed coaching this team and coaching with this staff. And he was one breath away yesterday at lunch from saying this is the best staff that I have ever had. And I mean, he didn't say it because he knows some of the history of the great guys who have coached for him. But not only does he have a bunch of great guys on this team, but boy, he has a staff put together that really gets his team ready to play.
Larry Johnson has 123 yards, and it's only in the third period. Here he goes again. Has the first down and a pickup of 4. Let's go back to New York and John Saunders.
Oklahoma #1 in the BCS poll, but that is in deep jeopardy today. Reggie McNeil, the freshman, goes 40 yards to Terrence Murphy. That's McNeil's 4th touchdown pass of the day. Oklahoma just fumbled. A&M is driving again, and they lead 27-23.
Oh, my. Are you kidding me?
Boy, A&M's look great early in ball games. Their problem has been hanging on at the end, so don't count the Sooners out yet.
Ohio State won barely today over Purdue. Bowling Green has already lost. Robinson out to midfield, or just shy of it. They'll mark it right at the midfield stripe, and now a flag comes in late.
Boy, I think that's going to be a personal foul on Sean McHugh. Joe Paterno already took Jimmy Kennedy and brought him over to the sideline to stand next to him after a dumb play, and I'm not so sure he won't do the same with McHugh.
Dead ball, personal foul on the offense, 15 yards from the end of the run, second down.
Boy, that's a huge, huge penalty.
Instead of being at midfield, they move him all the way back to the 35.
And McHugh got into it with Jerton Evans. And boy, Frank Gander, who's called a sensational game. Now you have all that momentum. And you're stuck behind the sticks at 2nd and 15.
Johnson breaks the tackle and then punishes the tackler across the 41.
Boy, he does run hard, doesn't he?
Oh,
230 pounds. Met with him the other day. I mean, he's just solid as a rock. And he does run angry, doesn't he?
He really does.
Yeah.
I can remember so vividly. John Cappelletti won that Heisman in the last 3 games. I was part of it. I helped him win it.
You still got a scar on your chest from Cappelletti.
Cappelletti had about 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in the second half against us, I think. Mills throws a strike. Tony Johnson inside the 45-yard line.
Well, we'll take a look at our Chrysler playbook, because Tony Johnson is a guy that they really need in this offense. Up top right here, he's just going to run an out route. A lot of space between him and the cornerback from UVA. And this ball just thrown absolutely right on time, and a good move by Johnson. Anytime you're going to get to the outside and you put a move on Jamie Winborn, you have to do something to make him think and may come back across the field. A good route, and more importantly, he made the catch. Made 2 drops early. He's really starting to focus in.
First down, option. Johnson, quick break, explosion, breaks the tackle. Look out. Johnson's on a run inside the 10. He's gone. 43 yards, but there is a flag back at the 30. And it's against Penn State.
Boy, a great cut by Johnson.
Illegal block in the back.
You know, where that flag was thrown, it looked like they got Bryant Johnson possibly downfield trying to help out his running mate. And this is the 2nd bad penalty on Penn State. And Joe's had some issues with Big Ten officials, but this is an ACC crew here today. Maybe he just doesn't like the striped shirts at all as he gets older.
I don't want to hear any more about Joe Paterno and the officials. I've seen some of those plays, and he's right.
No question about it. It's been a pretty good called ball game so far today.
Mills on the draw to the 37. Back to Times Square studio. John Saunders. John.
Tim, Florida State hoping to remain unbeaten in the ACC against Georgia Tech. Adrian McPherson hooks up with Anquan Bolden, who picks up a tremendous block, a couple of them as a matter of fact, and gets 32 yards and the touchdown. Florida State up 21-13.
All right, John. Of course, Maryland watching that game very anxiously. Maryland with a win over NC State today, still very much in the hunt, but with that one loss to the Seminoles in the conference. Second down for Mills. Throws almost intercepted.
Boy, Frank Ganner and Joe Paterno have to have a talk with Zach Mills. I mean, you know, they've got the momentum, and I know he's trying to make plays, but man, oh man, he's just sometimes when he gets out of the pocket, for a guy who's that calm, there's just nothing there. And he throws it into coverage. He's had 2 balls intercepted and taken back. And if Curry can keep his feet and make that, I don't know that he doesn't take the distance. Boy, he gets really dangerous with that ball sometimes when he gets out of the pocket.
3rd down and 5 for Zach. Just a sophomore from Iamsville, Maryland, Urbana High School. Quality young man, terrific quarterback, and this is incomplete, thrown behind Larry Johnson.
Oh, and Joe wants a call, and he got it, and he should have. Looks like Pierman coming back on crutches, but Robertson trying to slow down that crossing route. Grabbed Bryant by his waist as he went by, and that was a good call.
Pass interference on the defense. The penalty will be a 1st and 10 at the spot of the foul.
Boy, and Joe Paterno really got animated. And this flag came late. It came all the way from the back judge, but it was the right call because Merrill Robertson, the middle linebacker, trying to go with that crossing route, and Casey Williams. Here he comes all the way across the field. And Merrill Robertson, although you know what, Tim? They could have called that both ways. Casey Williams was running across and ran into Merrill Robertson, almost got a pick.
Johnson will 1st down with a cut. Down to the 30. Larry Johnson, 6'2", 222-pound, 5th-year senior from State College. 24 carries, 154 yards.
His average is way off today, though. 6.4 yards per carry. His father, Larry Sr. But Larry Jr., yeah, he's having an okay day. I mean, 7.1 yards per carry on the season coming in. That's a staggering statistic.
23 seconds remain in the 3rd period. Johnson again. Breaks a tackle and almost gets outside. Tripped up by Angelo Crowell.
And now Al Golden, the defensive coordinator, getting a lot more aggressive. That time he brought Jerton Evans on a blitz.
The end of the 3rd quarter. Our presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. You are watching ABC Sports. And folks, Penn State Nittany Lions are rolling.
The new Jeep Liberty Renegade. It gives you the power to conquer nature. As well as the ability to protect it. The new Liberty Renegade.
At BAS
BASF, we don't make the car, we make it more colorful. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
You know that I love my chilies, chilies with spice, so nice.
There's a place that jazzes up their flame-grilled ribeye and loads their new mashed potatoes with cheddar and bacon. Want more flavor? Come to Chili's.
Beautiful women are being victimized all over the city. The pressure is building at the 15th precinct. Don't tell me we nailed the wrong guy. They're looking for someone to blame.
I can't believe you're dumping this on me.
I'm telling you straight what's going on. Even the man in charge could make a fatal mistake. An all-new Blue ABC Tuesday 10/9 Central. Viewer discretion advised.
What is it about J-Lo and Ben that has us all wanting to know everything? Wednesday, you will.
This is too much for me to handle.
Diane Sawyer goes for the lowdown on J-Lo.
Getting married? Are you getting married?
J-Lo, Diane Sawyer.
So is Ben the one? This is like being on the front line.
A special primetime event Wednesday after The Bachelor.
If you want a family meal where the value is for real, come on and get it.
Hurry on down for Bonanza's tasty grilled sirloin tips, topped with mushrooms and sautéed onions. They're an amazing $7.99. Even more amazing, you also get all the appetizers, soups, salads, and desserts you could want. But a deal this tasty won't last forever, so...
Come on and get it.
Bonanza Steakhouse.
Come on and get it.
Storm Tracker 16 Real-Time Doctor. Only on WNEP-TV.
Ready to start the final 15 at Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. Penn State leading Virginia 20-7 and on a roll right here. 3rd down and 3 at the 31-yard line. Challenging again. Zach Mills changing the play slightly. Or maybe dramatically.
Today's attendance, 108,698.
Wow.
And Penn State has now broken Michigan's record for home and away attendance. They've played in front of over 1 million people in just 9 games. I mean, their away games at Michigan and at Ohio State over 100,000, and the smallest crowd they played in front of, every game over 100,000, except at Wisconsin, nearly 80,000 at that game. New career long if Gold can get it. We saw the last kick, boy. He's got plenty of leg.
This one from 47 yards out for Robbie Gold. Good snap. Fake. They turn it up. 1st down. Look out. Chris Ganter with the touchdown run for Penn State. And the coach's son scores a big one from 30 out. Hey, Fran Ganter, how's the boy doing now?
Yeah, he's doing fine, isn't he? Chris Ganter from State College Area High School was an All-American, All-State quarterback. You can see the high fives all the way around for Fran. So proud of his son, and they can do so many things because he is a very good quarterback. And Penn State lining up for 2 to get on the number of 21 ahead instead of 20 with just a PAT.
That's one proud daddy right there.
I wonder who made the call. I wonder if it was Joe Paterno or Fran Ganter who decided that they were going to go for the fake there.
It's been a tough year for the Ganners. Randy lost his wife. And Chris lost his mom. They still have 2 in high school. Here's Zach Mills on the left side. And he scores and converts the 2. Jefferson got a block. And it's 28-7 Penn State. Penn State has scored on its last 4 possessions. Their goal is to win out, run the table, and finish 9-3. And right now, Chris Ganter's helping them on their way to reaching and making that goal come reality.
In 1868, an American tradition was beginning, and Pacific Life was founded, both built on principles of persistence, performance, and strength. 135 years later, those beliefs still guide Pacific Life. It's how we help so many businesses and individuals reach their financial goals. For insurance, annuities, and investments, rely on the strength of Pacific Life. Proud sponsor of the Pacific Life Holiday Bowl.
There's a place that I travel when I want to roam, and nobody knows it but me. The roads don't go there, and the signs stay home, and nobody knows it but me. It's far, far away, and way, way afar. It's over the moon and the sea. And wherever you're going, that's wherever you are. And nobody knows it but me. Chevy Tahoe, like a rock.
Dave Logan is single. He goes on many dates.
What is it that you do?
I'm a lawyer.
You hate lawyers.
And he uses his Discover card.
Check, please.
So far, he's built up a cashback bonus award of over $160.
You're kind of boring.
Check, please.
Where do you think this thing's going between us? Because you know my clock's kind of ticking.
Check, please. It's money he'll use for an engagement ring someday.
So, what do you do for a living?
Maybe someday soon.
I'm a lawyer.
Discover Card's new cashback bonus program.
Really?
Where you get paid for the things you buy anyway.
You don't need to be a sanitation engineer to know garbage when you see it. Looks like you'll be folding faster than the Argentine army in '82. Oh, well. Buck up, soldier. The night is young. Lucky for you, there's also a lightweight to live. The high life.
Tonight, be home by 8/7 Central for all the action you'll see and the heroes you'll love. All in the first 10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. Tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Penn State 28, Virginia 7, 14:47 to play as you look at young Chris Ganter, the redshirt freshman, who converted that drive into a touchdown on the fake field goal. The last fake field goal for a touchdown was in Michigan in 1995.
What a great call. At that point in the game, they had some momentum. The game was not put away by any stretch of the imagination. Joe Paterno and Fran Ganter got Ganter's son involved, and it was just a spectacular, great execution.
Weeks watches this one sail to the back of the end zone, and he catches it at the back line. They'll bring it out to the 20.
Well, let's break down the execution. They're going to run a little option with Gold and Ganter right here. But this is the guy you have to watch. Watch McHugh go in here and just get a great block. Outside guy gets up the field. He takes the pitch man. But it's really the block by McHugh, and Ganter runs right off of that. Untouched. And just perfect execution. And when you run that type of play, when the holder goes up, he's got to count what are the numbers to that side, and Chris Ganter counted properly, and they got a hat on a hat and scored.
Schaub now has to make something happen. Goes to McMullen, underthrown, incomplete. Monday night, Al Michaels and John Madden have pulled out the Yellow Blazers for Monday Night Football's historic 500th telecast. They've got the league's most intense rivalry, and they'll reveal the game you selected as the greatest in Monday Night Football history. Raiders-Broncos Monday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. I still have one of those Yellow Blazers. Schaub throws a strike to the outside. Pickup of 7. You know, talking about Monday Night Football in the 500th game, how about these two clubs? Let's take you back through the window of time. The Cavaliers of Virginia had their 500th game back in 1945 with head coach Frank Murray. How about the Nittany Lions of Penn State? That's 1948. Penn State beat West Virginia under head coach Bobby Higgins, playing in the old Beaver Stadium out by Rec Hall.
You know what Joe Paterno was doing then?
Don't tell me he was on the staff.
No, he was quarterback at Brown University. That's how long ago that was.
3rd down and 2. Lundy straight ahead for the first down. Joe Paterno is a man I love to visit. Quality man, great stories, very affable and congenial.
Boy, he must go about 3 or 4 miles in the course of a game. He never, ever stands still.
He looks the exact same as when we played against him when I was at Maryland in the early 70s.
Fumble by Schaub. Penn State says they have it. They do.
Boy, that's Tom Bradley, his defense has played so well in the second half of this season. And this is what he talks about. You can sit and wait for turnovers to fall into your lap, or you can go out and get them yourself. He said, we've always gotten turnovers this year, more than double what they had last year. And that's just an excellent job getting in there and stripping that ball away.
Sean Mayer comes up with it. His second fumble recovery of the year. Nittany Lions trying to put a lock and key on this one. Here's Johnson around the corner.
Stay in bounds, Larry. Come on.
That, folks, is a great running back. Larry Johnson, a pickup of 12.
He's going to get back to the huddle, though, with a 28-7 lead. One of his linemen's going to say, hey, Larry, we'd like that clock to shrink a lot faster. Could you please stay in bounds next time you get over to the sidelines?
He has 2 200-yard rushing games this year. First time that's happened since Kajana Carter way back in '94, and he could get another one here today. He already has 167 with 14 minutes left. Sean McHugh straight ahead. 37 years as head coach, 53 years in State College. Look at the all-time coaching wins. Amos Alonzo Stagg and Pop Warner. And Paul Bear Bryant down in Alabama. And then Joe Paterno. And Bobby Bowden right behind him. Bobby's saying, when's that guy going to retire so I can catch him? Well, Joe Paterno was told by Bobby Bowden that there's only one more big event after you retire, and he ain't ready for it.
Don't blame him.
Inside the 20, Larry Johnson again.
There's been a couple of guys who've stood on the sidelines at Division I-A programs since he took over. You have a feeling that'll be 1,000 before he finally leaves this place.
Still intense.
Yeah, he's trying to get that play in. He sees that play clock,
which is down to 13.
Well, and you're in a spot where, I mean, it's not in the books yet. You got to milk the clock a little bit, but you don't want any penalties.
Get it off with 2 on the play clock. They throw to the outside. It's complete to Tony Johnson at the 11. Back to New York we go, and John Saunders.
Miami on the road at Tennessee. A lot of people thought this might be a struggle. Not so. Ken Dorsey, 11 yards to Kellen Winslow Jr. for the touchdown. And their lead is now 26-3. Meanwhile, Virginia Tech, and this actually might end up hurting Miami because they have yet to play them. They're trailing Syracuse 28-21.
No, wow. If you're Miami, you are a huge Hokie fan until that game on December 7th.
Here's Mills to Johnson. Pushes the pile ahead to the 5. Even when you lose him in the pile, you just see the pile continue to surge.
Yeah, he's a guy who Fran Ganner talks about the confidence that he has really, really come into his own his senior year. He had to share time for so many years. It's a family business here at Penn State for the Johnsons, but he's just really running with so much confidence.
Said he's always loved to play with his brother Tony. Tony blocks for him. Johnson, touchdown Penn State. Larry Johnson virtually unstoppable from 6 yards out. And the route is on.
Fran feeling guilty. It's easy to call it when you got guys running like this, and it's the offensive line. I mean, now you could have driven through that thing with a Mack truck.
The party in State College is just beginning. Some are already starting to head to College Avenue.
Some of them go ahead and take off. You got the rest of this?
And the extra point is good. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. Some of you will be joining Texas A&M and Oklahoma. A great game.
We should change before we pick up the girls. Okay.
Chevy Avalanche. It changes from a pickup to an SUV.
What are you doing?
Avalanche, like a rock.
Getting pumped before your next meeting? I like that strategy, but your game face could use a little work. You have to go for everything. That gives you an advantage over the competition. Thanks. Good job.
Business travelers need a good game plan. Count on everything from business services to room service.
Gritch up that nose. You just gotta feel the face. You just gotta feel it.
Make 3 stays and earn 2 free nights. Call 1-888-MARRIOTT today. Marriott Hotels, Resorts, and Suites. Your Marriott awaits.
The critics agree Star Wars Episode 2 is the perfect DVD. The DigitalBits.com says it's the best-looking picture we have ever seen. A DVD that truly makes history. Star Wars Episode 2 is the new king of DVD. Own it November 12th.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea for Men. More evolved skincare.
108,000 plus here at Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania. The Nittany Lions, ranked 19th in the country, lead 35-7 over the youngest team in the country, the Cavaliers of Virginia. Tim Brandt, along with Ed Cunningham and Samantha Ryan at Beaver Stadium this evening. Virginia scored first on a 1-yard pass from Schaub to the tight end Miller. That made it 7-0, and it's been Penn State ever since. The Nittany Lions have busted out to a 35-7 lead with 11:34 still to play. This takes Weeks 8 yards deep. He downs it, touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20, and that's where Schaub will start with the offense of the Cavaliers. So Matt Schaub needs to work.
On the quick. Right, 21. The eye right. 21. Then look over me after the play. Eye right, 6.
11:28 to play, and now what do you learn out of this if you're a young team? What does Al Groh hope to get?
Well, I mean, you're going to go back to the film room, and you're going to say, all right, see number 98, and number 73, and number 81 for Penn State. Those guys up front, you young guys that want to be great players in college, just watch them play. And you know, I've been around coaches who do that. And Al, you know, Al was really honest with us yesterday. He said, you know, I got a young group. If we can come in here and just compete and play, and you know, he didn't really think they had much of a shot again. Penn State's very good. I mean, those 3 games that they lost could have gone either way.
They're a handful of plays away from being unbeaten, to be honest with you.
I had a couple of calls, too.
Well, those calls have been well documented, no question about it. Here's McMullen, quality receiver, picks up a first down, then he is really stoned.
Jimmy Kennedy, I'm not sure if he got a bigger hit on McMullen or his own player. Boy, Kennedy has really fine-tuned his game. You know, he had a chance probably to go to the NFL last year. Dropped a bunch of weight, almost 30 pounds, and he has really become a more aggressive, four-quarter type player.
Big hole, left side, pickup of 6. Wally Lundy, the freshman, his legs were getting heavy before the bye week. He said he got them back, but tonight Penn State really hadn't let him get going. Comes from a family of athletes. One of his brothers plays for Connecticut. Another brother plays for Kent State.
He's a special guy. I mean, you know, Al Groh's had to let a lot of these youngsters, he's a true freshman, get in there and learn against the best competition, and UVA has had a very difficult schedule this year, especially early on.
Sawyer was the motion man. On second down, Schaub throws to the outside. It's complete. It should be enough for the first. Ottawa Anderson made the catch, and his forward progress should have the chains moving.
Tom Bradley was talking about trying to get ready to play UVA. Now, of course, no reason to be up in the face of these UVA receivers, but they said, you know, we've cut practice back late in the season. They've played 9 weeks in a row, and they've played 3 opponents, Penn State has, that have had bye weeks before they played them, and he knew they were going to see a lot of different stuff. What a great job him and his staff did.
Schaub runs for 5. You know, it was pretty interesting, though, the way this all transpired. Virginia and Penn State were supposed to play September 7th, but the Cavaliers also scheduled another game
against South Carolina.
So they moved it back here. Joe Paterno actually called it shenanigans on the part of the Cavaliers, so he's got to go 11 straight weeks playing. Al Groh had another bye. First down for Lundy. You know, yesterday we sat down with head coach Al Groh and we told him what Joe Paterno said. We asked him about the bye and we asked him about the controversy. Here's what he said.
You know, we played Georgia Tech 2 weeks ago and they had a bye week before we played them. We didn't win the game, but I thought we lost the game because Georgia Tech played well and we didn't. I didn't really think the bye week had anything to do with it. And that's a reality of modern scheduling these days, with teams playing all different days of the week and byes in there. One of the things that I learned during my time with Coach Parcells in the NFL was to develop an attitude is that we play them whenever and wherever they give them to us.
Well, Schaub plays it here, and he took what they gave him on this play, hit McMullen for the first down all the way down to the 30, pick up a 16.
Boy, other than that fumble by Schaub, he's just played great today. I mean, he looks confident. He's got command of Al Groh and Bill Musgrave's offense, and you know, this is a tough one for Al Groh and his staff. But boy, you can really learn with a young team from a team like Penn State.
First down, play action, throw to the outside, another strike, and close to another first down. It'll be second down and less than 1. 10 catches for McMullen.
Well, he's a big physical specimen. Such soft hands. He had that great catch against South Carolina, one-handed. Lou Holtz said best catch he's ever seen in college.
Schaub throws, strike, and McGrew out of bounds at the 15.
And the size of Billy McMullen's hands allows him to make spectacular catches. And the first win of the year for this young UVA team was against South Carolina. And this catch right here that Lou Holtz said was the best he'd ever seen in college led to one of the touchdown drives early in the game, kept the drive alive on a 3rd and long. And he just got those big hands. They're almost 10 inches across from pinky to thumb.
Strike to the tight end of the 5-yard line. Heath Miller, who caught the first touchdown pass of the game. Down inside the 5. At the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet player of the game. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
Well, I got my guys.
I've got mine, too.
One of them's under center right now for UVA.
And the other's on the sideline wearing number 5. Lundy to the goal line. Touchdown, Virginia. Wally Lundy, the freshman from Willingboro, New Jersey, from 4 yards out scores. Then the Cavaliers' leading rusher makes it 13 for the Cavaliers.
Boy, does he run hard. 6 foot, 200 and almost 15 pounds. Got that good low center of gravity, and he really does a nice job for a young guy finishing off his runs.
Also catches so well out of the backfield with 43 receptions. Extra point is good.
Get your hands team ready, because if you're UVA, you got to try the onside kick, and Penn State's got to get all the fellas out there with the great hands getting ready to receive it.
6'1", 220 or 212-pound freshman. He is big, he's strong, and talented. Wally Lundy. 7:08 to play now. 35-14, Penn State. Well, we told you Virginia beat Penn State in the final game last year to keep the Nittany Lions from a bowl game. They are trying to give them payback here this evening, but the Cavaliers won't go away.
Obviously, the new Silverado is here. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Kid can't even get it over the plate.
The power of cheese. I would have yanked him earlier.
I'm not the norm. I'm not camera friendly.
You know, this year Chris Farley would have been 38 years old.
Chris was a great, funny guy, and everybody loved him. But he made a bad choice.
He started doing drugs, and once Chris started, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't stop.
And we all miss him dearly. Don't put an end to the laughter in your own life.
The Chris Farley Foundation asks you to please think,
laugh, and live.
Tuesday's date night on ABC, but this dad wants to stop any guy from dating his daughters.
why don't you just lock me in my room?
Your mother won't let me.
A new 8 Simple Rules, ABC Tuesday.
7:08 to play, 35-14. Lundy just scored to close the gap. And Schaub hit 7 straight passes on that drive. 7:08 left. Kurt Smith now comes on. He is their onside kick guy.
They're lined up like they're going to kick it off.
See if he squibs it. Nope. No. He kicks it, but it's short. Penn State puts it on the ground, and they'll start at the 15. Time now for the alumni report. And while we're here at State College, let's pick out a Nittany Lion and one of the all-time greats. John Cappelletti, who played at Penn State in the early 70s, won the Heisman Trophy in 1973. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame, and old number 22. He packed a punch when he ran. I still have 22 tattooed on my forehead. Went into the College Football Hall of Fame. Spectacular college football player, John Cappelletti. Sam just talked to John Cappelletti. We'll go down there after this play. Michael Robinson in at quarterback now. He's the runner to the 25. Let's go downstairs. Here's Sam.
And Tim, I spoke with John Cappelletti earlier this week. He told me winning the Heisman was the icing on the cake of a 12-0 season. He said he knew he was in the running at the time. It just happened so fast towards the end of the season. Now, right now, he lives in California. He's the partner of a pharmaceutical company, but he's still keeping tabs on Penn State. He told me it's no surprise that Larry Johnson's name has been brought up in the Heisman talk lately. He said he's emerged of late because he's not really a flashy player, but he deserves it because he's a guy who plays hard every down, every week, giving it 110% every game.
Paul Jefferson, the ball carrier. I remember that late surge by Cappelletti. We were tied at 10 right here, Maryland and Penn State, as we started the second half. In the second half, they erupted. He went over 200 yards for the game with 3 touchdowns.
Well, you know, back in the 70s, 110% was enough. But, you know, in 2002, inflation, you got to give 117% now. It's moved up. I'd like to see Larry Johnson get over 200 yards. He's 179 right now. He's still in the ball game.
Michael Robinson straight ahead, gets the first down. They'll move the chains. Let's take you back to the Manhattan and John Saunders. John.
Tim, time is running out on #1 in the BCS, Oklahoma against A&M. This is 4th and 5. Ronaldo works a stop by Ronald Jones, short of the first down. A&M takes over on downs, and now with about 2 minutes left, the Sooners in danger of falling.
Wow. Oof. Bowling Green lost earlier.
A whole bunch of shaking going
unbeaten.
on.
Here's Larry Johnson. Dodges a couple of tacklers and picks up 4 more.
And the point I was going to make about Larry creeping up towards 200 yards this afternoon, the only other guy, as a flag comes down late, the only other guy who's ever run for 200-yard games in the same season is John Cappelletti, and it was in his Heisman year, and all of those games came late in the season in a year when nobody's
we have a player
really
on each team, one unsportsmanlike conduct, a dead ball personal. The penalties will offset, the down will remain the same.
Sounds like a Led Zeppelin song. But you know, Larry Johnson, and we mentioned at the beginning that the two names Heisman and Johnson are starting to be mentioned together, and as he goes on during the season, as he comes off, he may be done for the day, but another 200-yard game, if he had that today, you got to start thinking that he is a legitimate candidate.
Oh, today will count even without the 200 yards. He's
right.
Close enough. And old Dad is proud, I'm telling you that. Should be proud of both his sons.
It was funny because a lot of people said that Joe Paterno hired Larry Johnson because he had 2 sons that he wanted to recruit, and Joe said, you know, I hired him because he was a good coach, and then I found out later that he had a couple of guys that could come help me out living in his household. He had no idea that Larry Jr. and Tony were such good players when he hired Larry Johnson to come up and work with his defensive line.
Defensive contact, first 5-yard penalty.
I think they may be talking about the 200 yards right now. Did you see his dad laughing and talking to Joe?
Well, you always get caught in that thing, and you know, coaches, it's really important when you talk to recruits and everything. The more publicity you can get for individual players, then the recruits, they see, hey, they care about us as individuals. But then you've got to weigh, you know, what if something tragic happened, and you know, he already has that sore hamstring that he pulled against Wisconsin. You got to balance the 200-yard game with possibly getting him injured.
Robinson on 2nd and short has the first down. Tap dances to the 43-yard line. Hey folks, tomorrow don't miss round 2 of the ISU Grand Prix series of figure skating. Crucial championship points will be on the line when the USA's Sasha Cohen and Jenny Kirk take to the ice. Skate Canada tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 3 Pacific on ABC Sports Championship Television.
So who do you like in that one?
I like Sasha.
Gonna look back at the promo.
Sasha Cohen has, she's got a triple sow cow that you wouldn't believe.
I can't believe you said sow cow during a college football game. You should be banished forever.
Well, Terry Gannon's a friend of mine, does that. He did a pirouette the other night when I was talking to him.
Pretty athletic guy. I don't want to picture that. It's not a good image with Terry.
4:05 to play. Stadium starting to empty out.
And you know, UVA, they've got so many young guys, and Al Groh and his staff have done such an amazing job in recruiting. It has been their #1 priority. I talked to a couple of their assistants today, and they said, you know, we spend a lot of time game planning, but we spend just as much time recruiting, trying to build the talent level here at UVA.
Kinta Palmer to the 45.
And this is a type of game where you start to do that, and these young guys start to figure out what it takes to play major college football.
Earlier we got that big play from Mike Gasparato. He had a huge game as he comes back into the ball game. Another coach's son. His dad coached at Penn State.
Loading up a story for him. Maybe he'll get a carry here.
Well, he said he was born to be a Nittany Lion. Let Sam tell you that story here in just a second.
There you go.
Down to the 35, and let's take you down to Samantha Ryan. Sam?
And Tim, you're talking about Mike Gasparato. You can call him a Nittany Cub. You can call him the Fiesta Bowl baby. He was indeed born into the Penn State family. The date was December 30th, 1981. Now, the team was in Arizona for the Fiesta Bowl. Mike's dad, Nick, was the offensive line coach for Penn State at the time. His very pregnant wife, Jean, was with the team on the trip. Offensive coordinator Frank Gantner said that he got the call. He actually got the knock on his door. Nick ran to his door. He said, I think it's time. I think it's time. And Mike made his entry to the world 2 days before the big game against USC. Guys.
Fiesta Bowl, baby. Inside the 35, down to the 33. Penn State continues to battle. Sam. Clock continues to move at 2:20. Stop it. Move the chains.
Gasparotto was good luck for Coach Paterno. 26-10 was the win over Southern Cal.
What do you have, Sam?
Well, Nick Gasparotto joining me right now. Your son is making you proud. We talked about his birth. I got to ask you, though, if his birth had come, if the Stork made the trip, the visit to you guys 2 days later, what would you have done?
Well, that'd have been interesting. I had a lot of faith in our medical staff at Penn State. I'm sure they'd have handled it.
He made you proud today with his second reception this season. Talk about how proud he's made coming to Penn State.
Well, we're a Penn State family. I graduated from Penn State. My wife, Jean, graduated from Penn State. So it's carrying in the tradition. We've had a lot of our family have come to school here. And we were living in the South. He was recruited by everybody in the South, but he came home one day and basically canceled all his visits and said, I just want to go to Penn State. So that was a great decision. He's playing behind a potential Heisman Trophy player this year in Larry Johnson. So his days will come. He's a sophomore, and he's got a couple more years.
They certainly will. Born to be a Lion, as they say.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
Thanks.
1:56 to play, and look who's back in the game. Larry Johnson comes back in. We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back.
The new Silverado is here. Now with quadra-steer four-wheel steering, it's the most maneuverable full-size pickup you can get. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
.370 Fortune 500 companies outsource with Kinko's every day.
Taco Bell's grilled steak taco. Tender slices of steak marinated and grilled to perfection. For a taste so authentic, you may pull a grilled steak switch out. For authentic carne asada steak, think outside the bun.
Okay, let's say this is your car and you get into an accident. Oh boy. If you take it to an Allstate recommended repair shop, they'll fix it, so you're pretty happy. You're like, woo, I'm pretty happy. Even better, Allstate guarantees the workmanship for as long as you own the car, which means if even the smallest thing goes wrong, you don't have to pay for it. So you're still happy. You're like, woo, I'm still happy. So there you go, the Allstate Lifetime Repair Guarantee. Call for yourself and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
35-14 Penn State, 1:56 to play in the game. Larry Johnson has come back in. He needs 16 yards to get to 200 for the third time this year. Here he is. Crowd on its feet, down to the 30. A lot of the fans have already headed down there, downtown to College Avenue. ABC Sports presentation of college football is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Discover Card, it pays to discover. And by America's Dairy Farmers. Ah, the power of cheese. Well, Larry didn't get the 16 yards. They take him back out. 1:17 to play. Robinson to the 26-yard line.
Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. And it has been just a show by Penn State. Jefferson on the shovel pass, and then Chris Ganter. Perfect execution on the fake field goal. The offensive coordinator's son getting into the act, and can't say enough about that guy, Larry Johnson. And with games coming up against Indiana and Michigan State, you've got to figure he is going to break Lydell Mitchell's record for over 1,500 yards in a season. He's getting close to that right now with 2 ball games to go.
35 seconds remain in a game that has been dominated in the second half by Penn State. Again, they run the option, get to the corner. Robinson tucks it away. Look out. Down to the 10. Ball's loose. Penn State looks like they got it inside the 10. Tyler Lenda jumped on it, recovered it.
Sometimes things go right for you, and sometimes they go wrong. That time the ball flying around everywhere, and Lenda. You got to lock this away now, Michael. You're getting some good playing time here, backing up Zach Mills. Get both hands on it. You're down around a crowd. You know the only thing UVA can do is try to strip at the ball. Those are lessons young men have to learn, and this sophomore needs to learn to lock that thing away.
That'll do it. Penn State goes to 7-3. They still want to make it to 9-3 and increase the bowl that they go to. Big win for Joe Paterno. This was the game last year that kept him out of the bowl. Guaranteed a winning season after 2 not so good seasons.
And this, you know, this is one that they pointed to. I mean, they felt last year, the 92-yard fumble return, they thought that was a little bit of a question of call whether Zach Mills fumbled or not, and the players talked about all week they could feel the intensity of their coaches.
Well, the game started out with a Virginia touchdown. After that, it was all Penn State. Timeout at the end of the game. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this.
ABC's Hold Your Breath Sunday, the night that